All right, guys, real quick, I want to go over our sponsors. First up, Healthy Made Easy by Mitchell Thompson. Phenomenal book, making nutrition and a healthier lifestyle, very simplified. Go check it out at Barnes & Noble, Amazon. Also, he has a gym that's open, Combat Cardio KC. They go hand in hand. If you're trying to meet fitness goals, trying to have fun workouts, that's the place to be. They'll get you right over there. Next up, Yup Strength. Love the smelling salts. Love the pre-workout. Best tasting pre-workout I've ever had. The smelling salts are a hit with everybody. Really does wonders for you during the middle of a hard set. Love what he's doing over there, John. Doing a great job. Our last one, Jit Head Athletics. Jeremy, he's doing a great job with that company. Rash guards are fun, good material. They're doing cool stuff over there. All the TBAP merch is over there. If you guys want to help support the show, I greatly appreciate it. We got rash guards, t-shirts, head on over there. It really helps get the name out. So yeah, thanks again to all our sponsors. Thank you to everyone who watches and listens to the show. Please, if you could, like, share, subscribe. It really helps out. And yeah, we'll get back to the show.
I like Trump, right? Mm-hmm. But
no, not a fan as in I'm not a Trumper, like a typical Trumper.
Yeah, there's.
I don't think he's a Nazi or whatever they claim him to be.
Yeah, but you're just not a fan.
Not like I guess I used the wrong word on that. I shouldn't say a fan. I used Trump as a vehicle to put in libertarian ideologies that I feel like he took from our party.
Yes,
that's what I want to do.
Well, honestly, man, I think if you think about it, like. Today's Republicans are yesteryear's Democrats. Mm-hmm. So I think the whole party has shifted. So I think you have the right wing extremists who used to be Republicans are now the extremists, and I think you have the Democrats who are now like the more middle of the road Republicans, and then you have your old extremists are now like today's Democrats,
right?
And then they've ushered in like a new form. And I think a lot of America is just kind of in the middle, man. They don't want, like my big thing is I just want to be left the fuck alone. Just let me make money. Let me live my life, Yeah.
Well, that's the funny part is too. It's
leave my kids alone.
Yeah. How debatable, like, why is that a debate to leave each other alone? It's like, well, because then people will take advantage of you and companies will do this and do that. It's like, well,
we're being taken advantage of now.
Yeah. You guys thinking that forcing a company to surrender to your type, whatever ideology you have is going to somehow magically work. Yeah. Like, no, that's not how things are done. The power lies in the people. So if that company's being a piece of shit, then the people should band together and just not use them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then they just, that's how the free market works. If sales are not happening, then companies go under.
Dude, and that's really what it is. And I think
not saying it's that easy.
Yeah. And we saw it in cancel culture, right? But yeah, I think like, why do we have to pay so much in taxes? Well, now we clearly see it within Doge where,
oh dude,
like, why are we sending money to like Indonesian coffee for climate stuff? It's like it doesn't make
50
sense,
million
man.
In condoms
when really it's just like we're
Palestine.
funding terrorist organizations and then we're going in and fighting the war and spending more money. It just doesn't make sense.
People should be. I thought Democrats were on board with slashing government spending. I mean, I didn't know that.
Well, they want to cut police spending.
Yeah,
if the Democrats really wanted to win, they would have put up RFK. He would have beat Trump.
Yeah. Well, he ran as an independent though, didn't he?
Yeah, because they kicked him out because he wasn't democratic enough when he's a lifelong Democrat. So it's like, if you really want to be the party of change and love and whatever you want to be, like, put him up. That's who would have won. Yeah. You would have been in power.
Can you cut that heater down? I'm sorry. You can leave it on the third camera if you want. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't understand what's going on right now. I mean, I do get it. It's the whole old school blue versus red deal, like if it's not our idea, I don't want you to have the win. Yeah. But to me, it's like, even with Trump not being a libertarian or anybody in his party necessarily being a libertarian, I'm not going to bash him if he's doing good things. And if you come on TV talking about making America healthy again, and let's cut the Fed in half, and let's give back taxpayer dollars, which.
And let's get rid of taxes.
Yeah, get rid. Well, yeah, I guess let's get rid of taxes. Let's hope that we get that money back. I would like to assume, that's an assumption, that if they do cut it, that they're going to give it back to the people, right? That would make the most sense.
Yeah, well, I think it's just you'll stop paying it, right?
Yeah.
Like imagine like if I had 30% more in my pocket, man, I'd be feeling great.
I think they said the average was like $29,000 extra a year or something.
Dude,
like
it's nuts. And that's a car. Think about it. That's a car. That's your rent for the year.
Yeah,
that's your mortgage for the year. It's like that's powerful stuff, man.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is right now is that things have gotten so skewed to one direction that it's taking such a massive reset that it's going to be like a cultural shift across America. It's like you can't slowly bring it back. Like it has to be a hard reset. And I think that's what we're seeing.
And a lot of the times what happens is because of that, like I always tell everyone, the reason why we have these extreme liberals, I feel like it's at one point we had extreme conservatives.
We have them.
So it's like
I mean,
that
we still have them.
swings back. And I'm not saying they're not there anymore, but just saying like at one point in history, they were pushing so hard right. And then at one point it shifts back. That's the
and now we're seeing it, because it's been that way, the last 20 years?
Yeah.
Almost. And now we're seeing it shift back again. It's going to stay like that. You know what I mean? It's like one party thinks they have the best ideas.
Yeah.
They shift back and forth. At the end of the day, man, I think the American people really, they just want to be left alone. And to me, it's like, I don't even know why we're letting politicians run America, because it's a business.
Yeah.
Why aren't businessmen running America?
Well,
and why are all of our people who run America, they're like 90?
Yeah.
Like America was
that's a good
founded by
question.
like teenagers and 20-year-olds. Like the people who are running things are just so out of touch with like the normal person, or they view themselves as like an elitist. And it's like you lost track of what it was like to be a 9-to-5er. Like you don't get it.
Look at the education system too. I feel like
awful.
that was So why aren't young people running for for any type of seats in office? It may be because that might have been intentional, to stay in power, keep our people in power.
Yeah.
Which is funny though, but I understand that government, is being ran like a business, but it shouldn't. Technically, the government should be so small,
but it is. Yeah,
it is. But and that's the problem, is that like anytime government has ever gotten in the middle of trying to act like a business, they fuck shit up. That's the big issue. So if we were to get rid of that, get rid of lobbying, get rid of the crony capitalism that's happening right now between the big corporations and them using these politicians as puppets to pass whatever they need pass, and then guarantee them a seat on their executive board whenever they fucking retire. It's like if we get rid of all that and we make the government so small to where their only fucking two jobs are the safety of the individuals in their nation and the property of those individuals, that's their only requirements to take care of, we'd be fine.
And I feel like that's what we're trying to get back to. And I feel that's why I like it so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I hope. The only concern I see is that I don't think the Republicans necessarily want that. And I think the Libertarians are even divided on that as well. But, we're not going to find a Dave Smith that's going to be able to run. Yeah, that's going to run for office and be, you know what I mean? Ron Paul.
I mean, we're looking at what Grant
Cardone.
Cardone's talking about running for governor of California, moving back and running.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you never know, man. I mean,
maybe
that's the thing about Trump, is that like he's going to bring people into the fold that I think they weren't before. Like, I mean, look at like the Elons. You know what I mean? Look at that culture shift, and now it's like he's heading up a department where it's like, dude, I mean, we're already seeing rampant, waste of money, fraud.
Just follow him on Twitter. He's posting all of it.
It's great. It's fantastic.
That's how it should be.
I love it. It should be transparent. Why should things be hidden? There's aliens. Tell us. You know what I'm saying? Like we should be able to know these things.
Yeah. It's wild times right now. I'm ready to see what happens here in the next 4 years, but I don't know. There's some things that I don't like too, like Israel's stance, with Trump kind of backing them and trying to get in the middle of Gaza and all this shit. It's like, what happened to ending foreign aid?
And
man?
I am a Trump fan, and I don't think we should be there.
But and that's the cool thing about that, man, is that because I voted for him as well. I was one of the libertarians that switched over and ended up endorsing Trump. And we can still call out what's not right for the people that we vote for. The same thing people should have done who voted for Biden.
Yeah.
It's like, that's your guy,
But if he's doing fucked up things, why are you still just going to back him because he's your guy?
Well,
it's okay. We're not going to knock you for voting for him.
Yeah.
You didn't know.
It's like my relationship with my wife. It's like, that's my person, but like, if she's doing something wrong, I'm going to tell her. Or if I'm doing something wrong, she's going to tell me.
That's how we grow.
Yeah, you got to be able to own your shit, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's the thing. I think when people vote is that how many people don't vote because they, and honestly, I didn't vote until this year. This is my first one. And I just turned 34. So like I was that guy for a long time. Yeah. I didn't think they mattered. My vote didn't matter, which it does. And secondly, it was like, well, I don't agree with everything, so I don't need to vote. And it's like, you don't have to agree with everything, but majority favors. So it's like, I don't agree with everything, but I still think he's a better choice.
Right.
You don't have to agree with everything. You know what I mean? I thought there was, even sometimes during the debate, I was like, man, Kamala made a good point there. But at the end of the day, she didn't make enough good points for me to switch.
Right.
And I think that's what it comes down to.
Right.
And look at, I think we'll see the landscape of politics change because we saw Trump go on the Joe Rogan and they stated that's probably the one thing that pushed him over the ticket was because he got in front. That was the first time in history we've seen a president talk unscripted, long talk.
For over 2 hours.
I think it's like 3, right?
It was 3, yeah.
I mean, it was like a week of my cardio sessions that I watched it. And I think if they were serious about her winning, she should have gone on. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like that's VP what won the young vote.
And the president candidate went on.
That's what the young vote.
Yeah, and I know, dude, that's going to come down like 5 years from now or 10 years from now. We're going to look back and be like, that changed history right there. And I know people like to, belittle podcasts and stuff like that, but they're making a huge change in history.
I don't even listen to music anymore. I only listen to podcasts.
Yeah,
and it's like that was his son coming in and being like, hey, you should go do this because this is what people my age listen to. Because music just isn't as good as what it used to be.
Yeah, and you got to also see the good and the bad from him. Like not bad necessarily, but you got to see the human being in him.
Yeah.
Even Joe Rogan said the circling and conversations, like having to kind of rope him back in. Like he was coming on a show and being vulnerable to judgment without having to have some 5-minute segment on some huge media platform where they scripted exactly what was said. They talked about it prior.
They didn't try to shut it down. It was and I think him getting off on tangents shows that, right?
Yeah.
Because if it's scripted, there's no tangent.
There's no tangents. Yeah. They know exactly what the next question is. Yeah.
And I think that people just got to have conversation, conversation.
Yeah.
Not one-sided. You listen, I talk. It's conversation.
Yeah, and respect one another because you know what the funny thing is too is that even if me and you didn't agree right now, if there wasn't government interfering in both of our lives, telling us what we should and shouldn't do, it would be okay. We'd just be agree to disagree. Bro. We may not be friends, but we wouldn't have to hate each other because you're not forcing me to do anything. You're not voting for an individual to force your agenda on me. That's simple.
Is the lack of respect nowadays is crazy. And to me, it's even crazier. Like reporters talking to the president. Like you're a reporter and you're arguing with the president.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you? You're a reporter. That is like the head dude, whether it's Biden or Trump, like, why are you arguing with him? Like, show respect. Right. It's like, do we forget what that's about? And it's like,
well, it's because they only get a certain amount of time, so they got to yell and be loud and get their point across to get that clip.
And they think that they're like the man, right? Because they come off these airs like these CNNs or whatever or Fox News, and it's like half of them start a podcast and then no one listens, and it's like, okay, so clearly you don't have a following.
Like Don Lennon,
yeah, you know what I mean? And they think they're like God. And it's just not the case.
No. Yeah. I remember that Elon interview. That was pretty funny. And Elon being the most qualified for that position, it's like, who are you to say who's qualified or not? Apparently he's exposing a lot of shit that's going on. So is he qualified? Looks qualified to me if he's finding all this shit.
He's finding, and look what he's doing.
If he's finding issues and he's being transparent about it.
Well, look,
I'm good with that.
I mean, dude, the guy's a numbers guy, right?
Yeah.
That's like literally what he does.
Yeah.
And he's proven to take over companies, horrendously cut them down, and build them better.
Yeah.
It's like, so clearly it's worked.
Yeah, to a point. I mean, there's some things I've seen in him as well. Like, I don't like the whole visa thing that's going on where he's trying to bring people over from like India or Pakistan on an HB1 visa or whatever. Like, we've got people here, dog, you can hire, man.
There
like,
again, it's like you said, you don't have to like everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I don't mind if he does it out of his own pocket, as long as
Yeah.
taxpayer dollars aren't involved. You can do whatever you want with your business, because I'm not going to say you can do this, but if it's using taxpayer dollars, then there's got to be a but, because you're dealing with other people's money right now. You know what I mean? So you have to listen to the people on what they want to use that money for. It's not yours.
Yeah.
It's ours.
Yeah.
So, but
we got to get it back first.
But like you said, yeah, I know. And like you said too, you were at a point where you didn't vote. You know, you I don't know what type of views you had back then, but I went through the same thing. I think the last time I voted was for Gary Johnson, which was I don't know how long ago that was. That was a while back.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, a libertarian presidential candidate. Yeah, that might have been like 2016, I want to say. I don't remember. But then I fell off for a while, and I've talked about this before on some of my clips, you know, went through my like anarchist stage and stuff like that, and libertarian, went back to libertarian, you know, the last couple of years, I want to say. But it's because I noticed, it's like, am I going to keep shouting in the back, like just upset about all, you know, the George Carlin approach, kind of like, you know, this is fucked up, but don't blame me because I don't participate.
Yeah.
And it's like, that made sense to me for so long too. It's like, I'm not participating in your guys' game, so you can't blame me.
Yep.
I get that. But then how do you expect change if you're not
you're never
helping?
gonna see change, man.
Yeah, you're not. And then too, it's like, how long are libertarians just going to continue to discuss this libertarian utopia and not come to reality and go, oh, well, we're not anywhere near that. So we need to kind of start helping a little bit more, working with other parties like we just seen in this administration that just got elected. A lot of libertarians shifted over to Trump's side, and they said, hey, we like what you're talking about. This is a lot of the shit that we're talking about. We're going to back you on this. Yeah. Someone needs to do it. I see that as more like showing more progress than just going, well, that's not our guy, so I'm not going to help out.
I
know
agree.
what I mean?
I agree.
So.
I mean, I don't think anyone else has ever brought people over from the other side, you know what I mean, and changed lifelong Democrats. And I think we just need to get to a point where you're not a Democrat or you're a Republican. It's like, this is what I believe in. Stop putting labels on it. You know, stop voting one way because you were raised that way. Stop voting one way because, you know, I'm white, so I have to be Republican, or I'm black, so I have to be Democrat. It's like, dude, just vote on what you believe in, man.
Yeah.
Like, stop. Not everything has to have a label. Like,
I think
it's
when you're,
okay.
I think when you're young, you tend to hang to labels, you know, because you're trying to find identity.
Yeah.
And
when they get pushed.
Yeah, and unfortunately, race becomes a big thing. I went through it at one point. You know, my father's Mexican, my mom's white. I went through a whole identity crisis for a long time when I was younger, trying to be Mexican, trying to prove myself, trying to be this. But when you get older, man, it doesn't fucking matter. Who gives a fuck? Are you a good dude? Are you a good chick? Then cool.
What,
you know?
What did Abraham say? Being a Mexican American is the hardest thing. You're not Mexican enough for the Mexicans. You're not American enough for the Americans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like, why, man? You can be proud of your culture, but you don't have to hang on the coattails of these politicians that are acting as if they're trying to help you. Oh, you're a victim and you're this and that, and we're going to help you and we're going to make everything okay. It's like, nah, bro. And not everybody on the other side is racist like you think. Do you know how many dudes that are conservative or really have voted for Trump 3 times, you know, that are not racist guys? Like, I don't understand. Why are you doing this? This would be just as bad as if they looked at a black dude or a Mexican dude and says, oh, you guys steal shit, or, oh, you're illegal.
Well,
that's just a wild assumption.
They have to keep the tensions high or else they won't be able to separate us. And it's, you know, it's just as racist to say, you know, when you hear the left side say, well, who's going to pick our crops now?
Oh,
is that not racist?
Bro, I say that all the time.
Who's going to clean your house?
I say it all the time.
It's like, why you just assume the person who cleans my house is Mexican? You know what I'm saying?
Bro, you're telling me.
And honestly, it's not even like the immigration problem isn't really even Mexicans. It's like, that's a very small majority. It's other countries. You know, it's not just Mexico. And I think that's what people forget.
It's like 7 to 12 million people in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge influx. And I've always said, dude, like if I had, everyone always asks me, you know, why, what do you think? What do you think about this? And I'm like, this is what I would do. Okay. If I had the keys, you know, to being the president of the United States, get a group of fucking Thomas Sowells, you know, like people that understand the economy, and tell them, hey, can we handle 12 million people that just came over into our country? Okay. If we can't, then you got to send them back. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys. Like that, if you want proof that we can't handle that, then hire the people that's what they do, you know?
Yeah.
And then if they tell us, I'm sorry, I don't want to see anybody go back. I don't want to see families split apart and all that shit. But why wasn't anybody at the beginning, when we just let the border open, not going, hey, hold on, instead of protesting after the fact, let's protest before. Yeah. Because, hey, hold on, Biden, is this sustainable before you allow all these, like, are you good with this? Like, are you guaranteed that there's going to be another Democratic president that comes in for the next 4 years and they're going to be able to take care of these people? Yeah. Oh, no, it's a pipe dream? Yeah. Oh, well, then hold on. Maybe we should not protest after the fact when now they're being taken and they're taken back to their country. Now everybody wants to get mad.
And then because like I think innocent people get taken apart. And my wife and I talk about the immigration thing because she's first generation Mexican American.
Yeah,
or
same
I guess not
here
Mexican.
with mine.
She's Mexican and her mom's from Chile. Her dad came over in the sewers at 14, like illegally, but now he went through citizenship. And like we both believe that like, yeah, if you have a record, like you shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? If you did something vile, you shouldn't be here. But like if you've been here because your family came and you've been here since you're 3 and you pay taxes and you don't have a record and you're working, it's like you should be left alone.
Well, that was the DREAM Act.
Yeah.
You know, at one point, which I'm all for the DREAM Act. I have no problem with that. I know I have a lot of buddies in the DREAM Act right now. The problem is that I think defining what criminal is, and they keep throwing around that word loosely, because technically, is it a crime to cross it legally? I guess, yeah. So I mean, you would call them a criminal, but let's start defining, because I think that's why some of the people are getting upset, because they're like, they're not criminals. They're not criminals. Well, what do you mean by criminal? They're like, well, they're not violent. They're not this and that. Yeah, I get that. But they're just calling, and I'm just talking objectively here, they're calling them criminals because they came over illegally. Yeah. That's why they're using that term. Now, if you want to use a different term for that, whatever. But so let's define it a lot better, because, like you said, I'm all for sending everybody back who's violent. I don't even want violent Americans here. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm all for that.
Send them somewhere.
Yeah. Send them to Guantanamo too.
I agree, man. I think we should have a place like that for the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, if I steal $20 from you, I'm a criminal.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, that's just kind of how it is. But
yeah. Should you go to Guantanamo Bay for stealing $20? Probably not.
Probably not.
I would more than likely want it to be violent criminals. Yeah.
Violent pedophiles.
Yeah. Rapists,
you know what I mean? Things
murderers.
like rapists. Yeah. But it's like, unfortunately.
Pedophiles, I don't even know why we're putting them in jail. Just put them in a wood chipper.
100%. And I agree. And it's like, the problem is that they're not going after the people who are just here working.
Right.
Now, can they get caught? Yeah, but they're going after like the criminals, and it's like, but sometimes the innocents get caught in the crosshair.
Yep.
So yeah, it's so hard. And it's like, it's just like with what they're trying to do, there can't be gray. It has to just be black and white.
Yeah.
And it goes back to that pendulum shift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It has to be a hard reset.
Yeah, but that whole reason of like, who's going to pick our crops, who's going to clean our houses, that's insane. I've heard that a lot.
Is that not racist?
That's insane, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, so you're okay with that guy out there breaking his back, picking cartons of strawberries for $1 a carton, that you admire that? Like, you're cool with that? And I understand, in Mexican culture, they have corridos and stuff like that, and praising people who work hard. That's all cool. You know what I mean? But I guarantee if you were to pull one of those guys away from his people and ask him, like, hey, bro, did this shit suck? He'd be like, fuck yeah, that sucks. So we just want to allow that. We want to allow these corporations to treat people like that. Out of sight,
out of mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But even the sad thing is, too, and I'm not going to say all of them, but kids from those parents that are working those fields feel pride in that as well. And it's like, yeah, because you more than likely are not doing it because they made it to where you don't have to. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
you haven't had to have, I mean, dude, I've heard all sorts of stories, even close to home. Like I said, you know, my wife's parents are from Mexico. I've heard horror stories of pesticides being dropped on them in the fields in California when they would pick the fields while she was pregnant and stuff like that. Like, it's some fucked up shit.
It's brutal,
man.
man.
Yeah. And for you to say like, we need them here to do that. Well, I would rather just not pick strawberry or buy strawberries from big corporations than just grow strawberries in your backyard
market or some
shit.
like
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, bro, it's crazy, man. It's just out of sight, out of mind. It's like, you know, you like chicken nuggies, but if you had to kill the chicken to make your chicken nuggies, you probably wouldn't eat the chicken nuggies.
I know. I have chickens in my backyard.
But it's fine
exactly
if like you just want to go pick them up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's out of sight, out of mind for everything. It's like you don't want to think about how it's made, but it's like it's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Someone's going to do the dirty job. I don't care what color they are or where they're from, but it's like maybe we should look at rework how we're doing these things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same goes, and that's why I've been such a big advocate for like hunting and stuff like that. Because until you have to take a life, or like I have chickens, if you have to take a chicken's life, you would eat less shit or consume less stuff because you know it's not cool to kill things. I don't get excited killing a fucking chicken or killing a deer. Like it's more of like, hey, I'm doing this to help with management of wildlife. Okay, because every time I buy a permit, you know, my deer tag, then I'm able to contribute to where they're able to keep the populations under control. And also too, I feel like if I'm going to eat meat, at least I need to experience taking the animal's life for that meat. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, it's the circle of life, I think.
I should have to take on that.
Yeah.
Instead
I
of
kind of
just
want to
thinking that meat grows out of the ground in a plastic package.
Yep. My goal in life is to be like self-sustained, like farm, chickens, cows.
It's a lot of work.
It is. But I don't know, man. It just
to
sucks know where my food comes from.
But the way they set everything up, bro, it's like to where we can't do that, you know, because they set it up that way. They want you in the factory or they want you in the office or whatever it is. Like you have to rely on big factory farming or big agriculture.
Well, that's why we have,
farming.
know, all the TV shows and all, you know, if we stay comfortable, we're not going to complain about a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I was just getting into it with my brother about that today because I always mess with them when I love football.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I grew up a huge Chiefs fan. I mess with people now because I haven't really been paying attention for the last 3-4 years on football. I'll go and watch with my parents. You know, they'll throw parties and stuff like that, and I'll go hang out with them. But I don't really know what's going on. I don't keep up with it anymore. And I always tell them because it just reminds me so much of just like that old quote of give them bread in coliseums and they'll never revolt.
Yeah.
You know, so like now that I'm like so like I guess pulling out of the matrix, you know, when I see all these fans of like 90,000 people getting together in a packed stadium and just going fucking insane for all these guys, it's like, damn, I just wish some of that energy was directed into
other things.
Yeah, other things. Yeah. You know, like I don't want to take away your football, but I also wish you had this same type of energy towards, you know, shit
anything
that's actually
else.
affecting our lives.
Anything else. Yeah.
Your exercise, diet, relationships, all sort of being a parent, you know.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love football. I went to New York for a game this year. We went to Indianapolis for a game.
Nice.
I like to drink beer while I'm at the games, but like when I'm not there, I'm also hardcore on like health and how to help people and how to live better, make money.
Yeah. How to be a better
leave my
individual.
kids alone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so you gotta, I don't know. People lack passion.
Yeah.
At least if they have it, it's usually not directed in the right way.
Yeah. I think more people are opening up now. Now that I feel like information's a little easily, or more readily available now through podcasts, I think it's helping out a lot more too. Now, whether or not every podcast is telling the truth, I mean, not every podcast is going to. You have to decipher. You have to take the information, be able to decipher it yourself, you know, break it down, you know, compare it to other things, look at 5 other sources. But at least you're getting independent media now. Yeah. Instead of being, what did we just see? What did they just release? That like NPR and all these news outlets were getting, we're getting funded.
Yeah, funded in
taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, and you saw where they're going to allow like influencers and solo people like press passes to the White House because they realize that's where people are losing faith in big news companies, and it's like we're seeing it. I think I saw a thing today where over the last 3 years, CNN is down like $400 million of profit.
I know,
which
who
is
would have
crazy.
thought? CNN?
It's because we're all starting to learn. It's like you can't trust any of it. It's just like they're all the same lines. They're all sponsored by the same people, and it's like, not to say that one person is better than the other, but it's like at least one person, they're probably getting less pushed on them. You know what I'm saying? Than a company funded by a pharmaceutical company.
Yeah. Or just have like to be able to have different views on things or different takes on it. And if you're able to have that, then you can leave it up to the people to go, well, CNN saying this, Fox News saying this, these two other journalists are saying this. Let me read all of it and then be able to, you can sense bullshit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you can tell, or, you know, there's a bunch of different ways you can go about it. I think the problem is that too, is the time, like we just discussed with having like a homestead, there's not enough time. Yeah. Like, do you know how much time you would need to be able to go through everything and be able to understand what is going on and why it's going on? I have barely scratched the surface, and I've been looking at this shit for 6-7 years, I think. Like, and I'm talking about, I had a job where I listened to like 10 hours of content a day. Yeah. You know,
it's a lot, man.
I mean,
that's what's fun about it, though.
Yeah.
You can keep learning.
It's fun, but then it's like, Jesus Christ, like what is going on, dude? Like, I feel like, you know, there's just more and more that just keeps getting unraveled. And you're like, what the hell? What have they been hiding this entire time? What have they been telling? Why have they been telling me this shit? You know, and I don't know. It's insane, man.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
But, hey, man, I appreciate you coming by, dude. I know we just got straight into politics. That's always fun.
No, you're good.
Fucking 3 hours later, we're still talking about this.
Dude, I love talking. I love talking. It's part of my job.
I seen you on Michael's podcast. It was a great episode.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed it. Kind of wanted to get a backstory of you, man, a little bit. You know, I know you're owner of what's your gym's name again?
Yeah, it's Body Shop Gym.
Body Shop Gym.
Yep, and Blank Slate Fitness, which is my coaching business.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, if you could, man, just kind of give me a little bit of a backstory on like kind of what got you into that, you know, like the health, fitness, lifestyle, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try to make it brief. I don't know if I can, but
no, hey, take your time, man.
Dude, I was just chubby my whole life growing up. You know what I'm saying? I was chubby. All my friends were skinny. I was a lineman, and I just hated being fat. I hated having love handles. I hated having a gut. I hated going swimming in the lake, and my fat ass couldn't pull myself up on the end of the pier like everyone else. So I had to swim to the seawall, use the ladder, get out, and then go jump again. You know what I mean? And I was chubby all through high school. You know, I was never obese, but I was always a thicker guy.
I was say you're kind of a big dude. Like,
yeah.
What are you, 6'2"?
I'm like 6'1.5". So it's like, and I graduated, I was probably like 225. So I was never like obese. You know what I'm saying? But
tall.
Yeah, but I just hated the way I looked. I didn't want to take my shirt off at the pool. I didn't like to go to the beach. I still don't like the beach, but
you were like thick with 3 C's.
Yeah, probably 3 C's. And I love to eat, right? And my buddy, I was into powerlifting, and so I was okay strong. And then my buddy got me into bodybuilding, and it was like seeing the body change, and you know, he got me hooked on it, and then I started eating better. And my goal was I just wanted abs. You know what I mean? I see the magazines, you know, you see all these guys with abs getting girls, and I was like, oh man, I need to get girls. So I need abs. You know, so that's really what it was. I just wanted to be in shape to get girls, and then, you know, once you get in shape, it's actually more dudes than it is girls.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's like riding a Harley. You think you get it for the girls, and it's always dudes that are stopping.
It's always, man, nice bike, bro. Yeah. And I wanted to do a show. You know, I wanted to get shredded. And man, I just fell in love with like the process. I guess I love repetition. Maybe I have a slight problem, but
yeah, I was about to say that's usually the shit that sucks. It's just doing the same shit.
No, man, I love training. I love how hard it is. I love that it's always the same. It never changes. I love the challenge. I love that you're never good enough. There's always something to chase. I love eating the same things daily. It's just,
you like the routine.
I love the routine, man. It's just, and honestly, the biggest thing that I took from it was like, it made me better in life because I understood that things took a long time to get to where they needed to be. And it just kept me going. You know what I mean? It's like within fitness, you can never be too good.
Right.
You're always chasing something. And like when you think you're good, there's always someone better.
But when you first got into it, you weren't necessarily, were you going straight to bodybuilding or were you just working out?
Yeah, I was like doing bodybuilding workouts, right?
Okay.
Like the goal was to be jacked.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just be huge.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it slowly evolves over time. Then I was like, oh, I'm going to do a show. And then you do a show, and then it's like the adrenaline rush is fantastic. So then it's like you're competing to do another show.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when I first got into it, I just wanted to have abs.
Right.
You know what I mean? The first time I almost had abs, I was like 200 pounds. And I still didn't have abs. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like maybe a 4-pack, but I was so proud. But I was eating like egg whites and a plain fucking potato for breakfast and yogurt. And I hated yogurt, but I thought I needed to eat it because it was on a meal plan. So I would like gag and choke down the Greek yogurt.
Are abs sustainable?
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like it's such a, like you said, it's hard, it's a grind, dude, to be able to get your body fat down that low to where you're at, your abs are able to show. You know?
Yeah, it's all within reason, right? So it's like it's calorie restriction. Like back in the day, I would eat and I would gain a lot of weight versus now, like I stay a lot leaner and I do still eat the same things every day, but I'm doing my cardio. I'm doing my, like I have a step count every day. I'm doing my cardio. I'm following my meals. So it's like, I'm not eating all this excess shit that's in our food. So it's like, you know, I only eat, I think like 2,500 calories a day.
Really?
But it's like, it's pretty well balanced. You know what I'm saying? So I think as long as you eat within reason, you do your activity, like there's no reason you can't keep
Does that fluctuate if you bulk or during different periods? Like
I'm growing right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Off of 2,500? Okay.
Yeah.
Because you know that mindset of like, oh, you got to have like 5,000 calories to be able to bulk up.
Yeah, but your body can only handle so much. And then it's
Right.
like, what's the excess just going to body fat? So it's like, there's literally studies done where it's like, you're going to get just as much out of 100 calories of excess as you will 500 calories of excess.
Gotcha.
So it's like, if I'm gaining a pound a week, it's like, bro, I'm not gaining a pound of muscle a week. I'm just getting fat. You know what I'm saying? Versus like, I've raised my food, or my coaches raised my food twice over the last 6-7 weeks. And I've gained like 2 pounds, but I look better. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm keeping that rate of gain slow, but I'm still progressing. I'm getting stronger. And it's like, if you're getting stronger in the gym, you're getting better.
Right.
You're gaining muscle. You know what I mean? So back in the day, I would do that. I would like bulk like crazy, but then I get fat as shit.
Yeah, you start looking like a power lifter.
Dude. And it's like, I hated dieting year round. And because I wouldn't cheat. I would cheat like one meal a week. And I just hated like not cheating on my diet, following everything, and I still look like shit. I just wanted to look like I worked out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, that's the goal though, is how do you make it throughout the entire year? You know, because it used to be like diets were like this fad. Like you'd hop on a diet, and then you would hop off, and you'd hop back on. How do you keep it consistent to where it just becomes a daily routine for you? You know what I mean? To where you're not, it just becomes a part of life. I think that's the hardest part.
I think you have to take the diet stigma away. I just think it's like you're eating cleaner. You're eating on a meal plan. It's like everything I eat in a day is what we ate 50 years ago.
Right.
But, well, maybe not quite everything, but it's like, why am I looked at weird because I eat single ingredient foods, but I'm not looked at weird if I go to McDonald's?
Right.
Like, ooh, you're eating like yesterday I had shrimp, rice, veg, coconut oil. It's delicious. But why, if I ate that in public, like, why are you eating that? Well, because I don't want the 4,000 calorie burger and fry for lunch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do I want it? Yeah. I love food. But
that if you put it in a glass jar, it doesn't even rot away.
Dude, I want to feel better. I want to look better. I want to perform better.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm trying to reach heights in my life that, like, I guess no one in my family has done. It's like, I'm trying to be like generational wealth, the start of it. So it's like, if I'm going to achieve that, I have to fire on all cylinders.
Right.
And if I feel better, I'm going to look better. I'm going to perform better.
Right.
You know, it's like Deion Sanders, like, look good, feel good, play good.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
Yeah. I noticed that about myself too, you know, because I've gone up and down in my life. I've been heavier. I've been, In the middle. I feel like right now I'm probably at the best I've been. And the way I think, the way I speak, it even seeps into the way you are at work or with your friends, or like, you know, when you're eating cleaner, you're lifting heavy shit, you're taking care of yourself. It's all a good confidence boost.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, you have more confidence. Yeah. So it seeps into everything.
Everything.
You know
Even
what I'm saying?
relationship too,
Yeah.
man. You know, relationship or with your kids, you become a lot more patient because you don't have that energy just built up sitting there to where you're just going to lash out. You know what I mean?
Do you not want to feel sexy to your significant other when you're shirtless?
That is true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like last night, I'm in my kitchen. I took my shirt off, cooking my last meal. I'm in my dress slacks, my Jordans, and my wife was like, hey. And I'm like, hey.
Well, because we forget about that, man.
Yeah.
It's like when you get into a relationship, and I've been guilty of this myself, you just let yourself go.
Yeah.
You know, and then you think like, and I'm not saying all relationships are like this. I'm sure there's, you know, two people who are obese out there that love each other no matter what. That's great. You know, whatever you do you. But I would say a majority of people, you want to be able to still have that physical attraction towards your partner. Not saying you necessarily leave them for it.
Yeah.
Even though it does happen quite a bit probably. But you still I think you still owe it to your partner to take care of yourself and not completely let yourself go.
100%.
Yeah.
If they fell in love with person A. Okay,
Right.
well, if person A gains 100 pounds, they're no longer person A, they're person B. And you can't say they're the same because I guarantee they're not. Because at that point, they're probably a little more unhappy. They're probably a little more depressed.
Self-conscious, yeah.
And honestly, like, if you don't feel good and you're depressed, I bet you don't want to have a lot of sex.
Mm-hmm.
And sex isn't everything, but sex is fantastic. You know what I'm saying?
I would still say it's important.
It's important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a physical thing, but it's also like a spiritual connection. Like it's like an unwritten language and connection that you have, right?
Right. Especially if you're doing it with a person that you really love.
With a person that you really love. So it's like, do you not want to be good for them and more than just like be nice? So I think it is important. I think you need to try in the relationship, and that means physically, mentally, and spiritually. And you know, it's like, are you depressed? You know what I mean? It's like, well, lose some weight, eat better, get sunlight, and have more sex. I bet you're not depressed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, there are people in relationships that they don't have sex for a year, and it's like, are you guys do you even love each other anymore?
Yeah.
Like the love has changed.
Starting to
point.
become like a roommate.
Yeah. It's like,
And then you're just in it for the kids.
yeah. It's like, how many times do we hear that? You know what I mean? I want my wife to like, I want to turn my wife on when she sees me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I want to feel good about that. I want to have that confidence.
Yeah. That's what I've always tried to tell people, you know, that I've had conversations with. It's not, I'm not saying that you owe that individual, but you should want to do it for yourself, man, because how do you feel when they look at you and they're attracted? That feels good. Everybody wants that.
Dude,
you know?
I mean, it's just, that's what fitness is, right? It's like, you want confidence, get in shape. You want to handle stress more, get in shape. You want to go further at work, get in shape. Dude, fitness literally makes everything in your life better.
Yeah.
You can't tell me it doesn't, because it's like, the better you feel, the better you look, the better you perform. It's like, I don't care if you want to step on stage or not. If you want to achieve more in life, hire a fitness coach. Yeah. Because I guarantee you're going to get further.
Yeah. What do you tell those people that give you all those excuses? I'm sure you've heard every one in the book. I don't have time. I don't know what to do. All this shit.
Well, you don't know what to do. You hire me. I'll tell you what to do.
Exactly.
I don't have time. Oh, what shows do you like?
Yeah.
Oh, I like the 100. I like Bridgerton. I like Game of Thrones. It sounds like you have a lot of time because you watch a lot of TV.
Just not utilizing it correctly. Yeah.
You're not utilizing it correctly. It's like, dude, I love TV. I get maybe like 45 minutes a day.
Watch that shit on the treadmill or put a fucking TV in your gym. That's what I
do. Dude, that's what it is. And it's like, I had this talk with my wife, and I didn't have enough time in the day. Like, I have so many things on my plate, and it's like, I'm trying to run one gym. I'm trying to make sure the other one has what it needs while I pay someone to run it. And then I'm trying to run my coaching business. I don't have enough time. And on top of that, I'm trying to be a husband and a father. And I can't balance all of that. And I'm probably slacking in my family more than anything, which is hard because as an entrepreneur, you're you're probably doing it for them,
Yeah.
but they're sacrificing.
Yeah.
So
There's sacrifices in everything, though.
dude,
You know what I mean?
so what was my solution?
Yeah.
Instead of waking up at 6:45, wake up at 5. I have time to get my reading done. I have time to get my cardio in. And half the time, by the time my kids get up, I either, Wednesdays I had payroll done. The other day I had two nutrition plans done by the time my kids came down. Maybe I'm answering emails. Maybe my wife sent me something that needs my attention through email that I'll take care of. I'm getting ahead of the game before I can even start, before my kids start their day. So like I'm getting an hour to 2 hours of work done before anyone in my house is up.
Yeah.
My wife is up, but and lo and behold, I'm getting more done. So it's like I made the sacrifice to go to bed an hour earlier, wake up almost 2 hours earlier, and I'm getting more done in my day. I'm being more productive. So it's like, if you want to make time, you can make time.
That way you can have that window in the afternoon to be able to spend with the family.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, how long are you going to make excuses for? Like, do you want to be overweight and not be able to hang out with your grandkids? Because like you just can't physically move. Yeah. It's like it starts now. Do you want to?
Or the big thing too, that type 2 diabetes, man. I mean, there's a lot of people I know that are type 2 diabetic, and it's like that sucks, dude. You could have completely prevented that.
Yeah. And you can get away from it.
Yeah.
If you want to.
Yeah, I've read that. Yeah. Because I always thought it was permanent. Like once you got it, you're stuck.
No, dude, you
can get off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Food has such a control on people. And like once you learn to control what goes in your mouth as well as what comes out of your mouth, wow, that's power.
Well, the hard part too is that they make it so addictive. I mean, it's so weird thinking about a time period. And, I'm very fortunate. My wife has always been the one to cook at home a lot. But there was periods where I was eating out a lot, either at work or I was taking them out to eat more often, and I was just gorging, and just disgusting food. And you don't realize it at the time.
Yeah.
And it's weird how your body just takes it, it's good. But like now, I love to get Taco Bell every now and then, it's what I like, So I go to Taco Bell. I haven't had it for months, and I eat it and I feel like fucking shit. My body's like, get this the fuck out of me, dude.
Your body didn't take it. I guarantee you.
I was used to
you were inflamed and you were used to it.
Yeah.
You didn't realize how bad you
You're
felt.
You're right.
And I love Taco Bell. Don't get me wrong. Like that's my wife and I's guilty pleasure. We leave the Sprint Center after a concert. It's the only thing open. We eat it on our bed. It's like,
hell yeah.
This doesn't count. You know what I'm saying? And you can still have that.
Yeah.
But it's within reason.
Earn it. Yeah.
Earn it. I love to go out for breakfast.
Yeah.
I love chocolate chip pancakes. I love, I made burgers at the house this weekend. We homemade the fries, homemade the bun, grass-fed beef. And it's like, man, you just feel good afterwards. And it's like when you look at what's in our food, it's loaded with so much shit that like it is addictive.
Yeah.
And like everything I make at my house is half the calories of everything that I would buy in a restaurant.
Yeah.
It's because it's just loaded with shit and chemicals. And dude, it sounds conspiracy theory, but it's like, there's a reason why.
Yeah, I mean, from what RFK's doing right now, I don't even think it's more of any conspiracy theory at all.
It's not.
I mean, 10,000 chemicals is what they're talking
dude,
about.
Dude, it's crazy. And like
food. But it makes sense though. Mitchell Thompson talked about it. He wrote that book and he explained that and I'm probably going to butcher this, but that Paul Morrison or something like that, they own all the cigarette companies. They bought up all these big food companies.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're like, well, let's take our team of scientists who made our fucking cigarettes addictive and let's send them over and make food addictive.
Yep.
It's like, damn, dude, you're kind of fighting against the grain on that. Like they're making it to where the point where you feel like you can't live without it.
Yeah.
Almost like a drug.
Dude, I think the average American like eats around 3,500 calories a day.
Really?
It's like, that's quite a bit. Like,
oh, God.
People don't realize how much.
It's all carbs.
It and fat and like hardly any protein, but like 3,500 calorie, and that's the differences, right? 3,500 calories of shit food isn't a lot of food. 3,500 calories of clean food is a lot of food.
That's a lot.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you made the switch to clean food, most of you can't eat that much.
Right. It's hard for me to get 200 grams of protein in. Like it's difficult for me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I can't do it, but there's some days where I'm just like, damn. Or shit, if you're trying to bulk or anything, you want to do a little extra, try to get 250. it's like, man, that's a lot of meat.
Yeah, I feel like it's easy.
Yeah.
But it is addictive, and our cells become sugar burners, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they need the sugar to process. So it's like you're feeling down regulated, and it's like your body's like, oh, I need fuel, get sugar.
Well, what I'm saying is that it's a lot like anybody can go scarf down a bunch of Taco Bell and McDonald's because you're going to be hungry like in 2 hours after that because it's not, your body's not getting anything from it.
Yeah.
So go and try to scarf down a bunch of meat. At some point, you're going to like stop. You're not going to just keep, you know what I mean? Like, and then you're going to be fuller longer because your body's actually using what you ate.
Oh, we went to Brazilian Steakhouse a couple weeks ago, and I think I ate like 3 pounds of filet.
Okay, you're a different individual.
Dude, this is so good.
3 pounds. Holy shit, bro.
Yeah, it's easy.
I bet you were fucking feeling great that night.
I did. I felt pretty good. I felt full, right? But like, yeah, dude, I
thought I could eat.
No, 3 pounds of filet, man. That's cake.
You think so?
Yeah.
Maybe I'd have to see it in front of me how big that is on a plate, but
it just keeps coming and coming. And,
I don't really I don't weigh or like macro track and all that stuff. I know that's good to do. I just haven't gotten, I haven't gotten disciplined enough to be able to implement it into my life. I'm more of just kind of keep track in my head. Like, I know there's like 5 to 7 grams of protein in an egg. And then, I know this chicken breast is probably like 30 grams of protein around there, 30 or 40 or whatever it may be. And then I just kind of just go, oh, I got about 180, 200 today. That's kind of how I do it.
Yeah.
How I go off. I don't really know like pound. I don't weigh anything or do any of that.
I mean, that's where it starts, right? Is weighing it, and what gets measured gets managed. So it's like, yeah, maybe you eat 180 today, but maybe it's like you eat 120 tomorrow.
How,
you know what I mean?
Is that bad?
I don't think it's great. I mean, it's not bad, but it's like, I think that's why a lot of people don't progress is because
that's what I mean by that.
There's too much of this, right? So it's like,
it's not constant.
Yeah. So if I'm if I'm just counting calories, it's like today I eat 4,000, tomorrow I eat 1,000, then the next day I eat 3, then 2, then 6. It's like there's so much variance, man, where if we could just get like an even baseline. Right. And that's the thing. When people come to me for coaching, they're not inherently doing a lot of things wrong. It's just, it's set up so poorly because they're not tracking anything that, one meal is all protein, the next meal is all carbs, the next meal is all protein and really heavy fat. And they're just not set up to handle it.
Or like me, I wild out on the weekends and
just
completely set myself back.
Bro.
Because I eat like I'm in prison Monday through Friday, and then the weekends come and I'm like.
And you go crazy. Yeah. So it's like Monday through Friday, you eat 1,900 calories a day. And then because let's say your basal rate, right? Your base level is 2,000 calories. Well, then on the weekends, you're eating 4,000 and 5,000 calories. It's like you're above your average that you need to be every day. So it's like those 2 days knock you out.
Then it'll set you back quite a bit.
Set you back, and then you add alcohol into the mix, right?
Yeah,
alcohol is going to jack up your glucose for a couple days. So it's like your body is going to be. It's. I mean, alcohol is great, right? I love a good beer, but it's literally poison.
Right.
Like, and I know that, and I still drink a Coors Light from time to time.
Yeah. But it's all about moderation.
It's going to mess with your body. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's hard.
I need to get better on that. That's one thing I need to change. I try to just what feels good. I feel like I've gotten a good progress from there, from doing that. But I do know that if I want to be like the type of photos that you post on your Instagram, it's like if you're going to want to be like that, like the men and women that you post that are actually taking it serious, you're going to have to start, you're going to have to get a coach like you and be able to teach you how to like count macros and do all that stuff. And
dude, it's not hard. Like,
I'm not saying it is, but it's passing that knowledge.
Yeah. It's passing the knowledge, and like, dude, there's no reason you shouldn't enjoy your meal plan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I love my food. I mean, today I had cream of rice with whey protein and almond butter and some pineapple for breakfast. My pre-workout, I had deer, veggies, rice, black beans, and a Rice Krispie treat. My post-workout was more cream of rice with 300 grams of fruit, which was like mango, peaches, strawberries, grapes, pineapple. And then when I go home, I'm going to have 3 whole eggs with some chicken, sauteed with onions, peppers, mushrooms, some fresh sourdough bread, and more fruit, probably an apple. And then I'm going to have a glass of tea and go to bed. So, dude, I look forward to that.
What kind of rice is that?
Just jasmine.
Jasmine rice? Okay. I know I cut out rice. I'm only eating maybe a couple of days out of the week rice. I subbed everything for veggies.
Yeah.
Just because when I did cut the rice, I dropped like 15 pounds.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
but not, I guess not on the scale. I mean, I dropped like about 10 pounds on the scale, but physically I started to see the fat kind of come off.
Yeah. Because you reach another level of like of fat dropping, right? And
I was eating so much rice. Like I was
Yeah.
eating like fucking 2 cups of rice a day. So it's like,
it's just not that much though.
that's not that much.
No. And it's like,
It just depends
'cause
on the individual too. Do you
it
think?
does. Yeah. And like
Yeah.
the more muscle you have, the more you can eat and things like that. But it's like, when you cut that out of the way, it's like eventually you have to add it back in. It's like you can't just like, yeah, you lost 15 pounds. But
Well,
it's
I'm
like,
eating more fattier meats.
it's going to stop.
To get that, you know, that energy, I guess, that
Yeah.
you're getting from the carbs.
But they don't work in the same pathway, right?
They
so
don't?
it's like the carbs is what's going to stimulate the metabolism, stimulate the thyroid. So it's like think about like rice or carb would be kind of like the gas pedal, right? They kind of help things go.
Mm-hmm.
They're the fuel, right? So it's like when my thyroid is feeling downregulated, or I have athletes who's like their body fat is like stalling.
Yeah.
I can't get them. We're getting down regulation. Well, I'm going to rest them, and then I'm going to feed them pure carbohydrates to get them fed back up, get the body kicking again, spitting the gas out to the gas pedal, and then us just bring the carbs right back down.
But you can get that
falling.
from fatty red meats, right, too? From the fats in red meats?
No, because they're different pathways. Yeah. So it's like the carbs is what's going to be the fuel, where the fat is going to work for like the cholesterol, the hormone health, and like you do have triglyceride storage right within the muscle, but fats cannot convert to glucose.
Mm-hmm.
You know, glucose is what drives the body. Now, proteins can convert to glucose through glucose neogenesis, where they break down and they can convert to glucose, but not at the same rate that carbs will. You know what I mean? So it's like, think of carbs as being like air in the balloon. Like they got to blow it up, right? If you don't have it, the balloon is just kind of like flat.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
we're going to have to get Mitch and him in a room together, start debating
yeah.
debating carbs and fucking fats, man. That's going to be
Dude,
interesting.
I love fats, right?
Yeah.
I think they're fantastic, and I think
Yeah.
fats,
And maybe I'm explaining it wrong. You know, that'd probably be a better take if he was here. But that's kind of what I took when he explained it to me. It's like, hey, you can get your energy from carbs, as in rice, or you can get your energy from fats from meats. The healthier option is going to be from meats, because the rice can be inflammatory to your gut. I don't know if there comes with different types of rice.
That's not wrong.
Uh-huh.
He's 100% correct.
Right.
So, but it depends on what your goals are, right? So
Okay.
it's like, I think there can be a great balance where you can have carbs and fats, and you do get a lot of energy from fats. They help with mitochondrial health in the cell, things like that. But it's like, if we're looking on a performance basis, I think carbs definitely have their merit as well. And that's why I like to, I still have dietary fats within the diet, because I think they're highly important. But it's like, I also think we need carbohydrates.
Okay.
And, you know, that's where people kind of put themselves in a camp of like a keto, a carnivore, things like that. And it's like, I do think dietary fat is amazing. The fat and the meat is amazing, and red meat and things like that. But if you're really wanting to drive muscle or gaining, you know, things like that, I think carbohydrates are highly important.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You're not going to see, and now this is an extreme level, right? But you're not going to see a pro bodybuilder gaining muscle on just steak.
Right.
You know, there's going to be a rice, and there's going to be a fat and things like that.
Really? Because aren't there vegan bodybuilders?
Yeah, there are.
Like, how are they doing that?
They're still getting carbohydrates.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought protein's what grows muscle, right?
It does. It helps. It does help with protein synthesis, but still, you got to have a driver of glucose. You got to have something filling the muscle up, and that's where the carbohydrates are going to come in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the carnivore diet? Because, you know, that thing has been going on for, I mean, I feel like I first heard it from Rogan back in like 2020, you know, from Jordan Peterson. All those guys are going on them. But I don't know if they stay on them.
I think carnivore is great, man.
Yeah.
I think it's a great diet. Like,
But
I
is
think,
it something you can stay on forever? Or is it
Yeah.
something that you just kind of
yeah,
use
because like
and
true
then hop
carnivore,
off?
yeah, because true carnivore is going to be, you know, meats, right? But then there's also going to be fruits. There's going to be
Right.
grains in there from time to time. I think the main part about carnivore is that important is that it helps you remain metabolically flexible. And I think that's a true sign of health, is that like you can operate on meat, you can operate on carbs, you can operate on vegetables, you can, you know, it's the body is healthy enough that it can take any source that you give it and function properly and not feel drop off.
And it's a good elimination diet as well.
It's a great elimination diet. Yeah. And it's like, I think really
reintroduce foods back into your diet. Yeah.
And I don't think we need to really like stick ourselves on a camp. I think it's eliminate processed food, stick to single ingredient things. You know what I mean? And it's like, I feel great when I'm on fruit veggies. And it's like, if we look at like African tribes, like what do they look for the most? Milk, honey, meat.
Right.
Like and maybe some fruit. Like if they have that, they feel great. They're not wanting to eat grass and twigs and you know, they're not wanting to grind everything up and make 50 ingredients into a Boca burger.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're sticking to the basics and it's working. And it's like when you look back in the 50s, it's like Americans ate steak, eggs, butter, rice, bread.
Yeah.
Dude, there was hardly any obesity.
Yeah.
And now we're told to stay away from it. And obesity's everywhere.
Right.
You know,
over 50%.
Yeah.
I've been doing that a lot lately. I've been trying to read the ingredients labels on the back of the food when I go grocery shopping. And I've chalked it up to this. It's like whether or not you know exactly what these crazy words are on the back of our food, if you can barely pronounce them or there's like 30 ingredients in your ketchup, you probably shouldn't get it.
No,
you know,
probably shouldn't.
Because ketchup's just like fucking tomatoes and I think a little bit
and
of
cane sugar and vinegar and why does it need vegetable oil and corn syrup and this? We buy the Simply ketchup. It has like 5 ingredients. It is a couple more calories, but it's like I like it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's the less processed the better. I mean, you really want to feel better, stick to the outskirts of the grocery store. Stay away from the middle. The middle's where all the nasty shit is.
It's just hard because money-wise, I could see where it becomes an issue. You know what I mean? To where you're having to pay more because a lot of these more organic foods are more expensive.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
but in the long run, I know it saves you because you're not getting fucking cancer. You're less likely to get cancer and all sorts of other chronic illnesses. And so I know in the long run it would help.
I would say that's wrong though, because let's pull up my calculator, right?
Yeah.
Let's say, how much did you go to lunch this week?
Like out to lunch?
Yeah.
No, I took lunch.
Did you go to dinner this week?
I don't think so.
Okay, so let's say an average person, they go to lunch.
But today they just went to
4
Chipotle.
days a week. Okay, so let's say you go to Chipotle 4 days a week, which I would say is pretty common, right?
Right.
What's an average meal at Chipotle? $18?
No, like I think a burrito is like $12, isn't it? What's a Chipotle burrito? You should know, Don. No, you don't fuck with him? Nah, he's longboard.
So let's say like 15, because honestly, even nowadays, like McDonald's is expensive.
Right.
So $15 times 4, that's $60 in a week.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so let's say all my groceries for the week, and I go extra. I buy organic, I buy grass-fed, but let's just say I'm eating base. I'm eating canned pineapple, maybe fresh pineapple, maybe just normal chicken. Okay, back when I was doing that, when I was like really broke, I could get all my groceries for the week for about $100.
Right.
Maybe $120. I was eating 6 meals a day. Okay, so 6 times 7, that's 42 meals. So let's do 100 divided by 42. I was eating for $2.38 a meal times 6 meals a day. I was eating an entire day what you're spending at lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm eating chicken, fruit, almond butter, olive oil, coconut oil, beef. So it's like...
And still being able to hit your goals of mass, creating more mass.
Yeah, and I feel better, right? So it's like, I don't have the money to do X, Y, Z, but it's like, if you really want it, you know, it's like Dave Ramsey. It's like, you got latte mouth. I don't have the money for that. You got money for the latte.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I had to cut mine back because at one point my wife was like, dude, what the fuck? You spent $100 at Starbucks this month?
You're telling me, dude, I love Starbucks.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I don't have the money, but it's like you have money for all the other shit.
And how much sugar is in that fucking
coffee? I only do black coffee.
Oh, okay.
Which is even worse, right? Because my coffee's like fucking $3.50.
Yeah, you could.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that just shows you how I was going like every day.
Yeah.
So like I feel like the money argument is null and void because let's go through your budget together.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see where you're going out to eat. And I still need to enjoy myself. It's like, that's cool. But like, do you need to enjoy yourself every day?
Yeah. Let's cut it down to twice a week.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's what we do, because like I said, Monday through Friday is more like we'll have a day, maybe two, where we're like, let's just go get longboards or Chipotle or something. And then try to eat the cleanest. I'm not saying that like all those, going to a restaurant is going to be necessarily clean, but it's a lot. We try to choose places that are cleaner than like a McDonald's or something like that. You know what I mean?
And there is that.
Or like a Texas Roadhouse or something.
The hard part, man, is that it's convenient, right?
Right.
But it's like, if you really want to commit to it, like my wife and I, when we sit down and we budget, we have a $900 budget for groceries for the month. And that's for a family of 4. And I know that sounds like a lot, but like I said, I
spend about $300 every 2 weeks, I want to say.
Yeah, barely. But like we're eating grass-fed meats. We're eating like wild-caught shrimp. You know what I mean? So like,
where are you going for this? What?
Sam's Club, Target. But like, to us, like, we're in a financial position that allows us to eat like the grass-feds and things like that. And I understand that. But before that, we weren't doing that.
So what do you tell the average individual? Well, not average, but just people that are from different income levels, like that. What would you tell them? What could they do if they can't afford all the grass fed or all the organic things? Like, what could they do?
Just eat normal. Get creative, right? Like,
so they may not be able to have the grass fed beef, but just getting normal beef is better than you going to Taco Bell.
100%. Or maybe like talk to like a local butcher or a local farmer. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know grass fed sounds expensive. I go to Golden Belt Beef. It's on 151st and 69 Highway. 90-10 ground beef, $5 a pound.
Right.
It used to be like $3.95 versus like Walmart. It's like $6-7.
Shit.
So it's like, well, there's that. And then it's like, when I look at my eggs, it's like, okay, you can't afford cage pasture raised eggs. Just get the basic egg. You can't afford organic chicken. That's cool. Just get the normal chicken breast. It's like,
it's better than doing.
It's better than what you were doing. And even if it's not perfect, it's still better. Like, rice is hella cheap. I get a 25-pound bag of rice for like $30. You know how long that lasts me?
Yeah.
Or a solid bottle of olive oil for $15. It's like, that's going to last quite a while. Or almond butter. It's like, you don't have to buy top of the line everything to make a positive change in your life.
Right.
But like, but one of my goals when I got older is that I could do everything grass fed and I could do organic. And like, that's what I wanted. And do my family and I maybe spend a little more money than we should? 100%. But like, that's what's important to us.
Yeah.
We don't really eat out a lot. Like I said, we made our burgers at home this weekend. I made my own buns. I bought beef tallow and I deep fried I cut up potatoes and deep fried the fries. We're doing grass-fed burgers. It's like, we enjoy that. We enjoy spending money on our food. Like, we love Vegas. We don't love Vegas to drink and gamble. We love Vegas because there's food.
Right.
So it's like, the food is important to us. And it's like, we don't want to eat out a lot because we feel like shit. It's expensive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even go to breakfast without dropping $60. Like, I can feed my entire family for like 2 days for $60.
Yeah, go to a 54th Street with 4 people. You're gonna walk out with like a $90 tab.
And that's, dude. And is that even before alcohol?
Yeah, no.
I
think that might be an appetizer and 4 meals.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's like, it's so expensive.
Yeah.
But it's like, so I would rather save my money and go to like a Sullivan Steakhouse that I went to for my birthday. And it's like, I'm gonna get a bone-in filet, and I'm gonna get lobster mac, and I'm gonna get beef Wellington bites. And my bill's $200, but it's like, I'd rather not eat out these 5 times and spend my shit where I really want to spend it, where I know I'm getting something quality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. My coach always tells me this. He's like, because it was told to him by his, and he's like, think about how many hands have touched that food when it gets to your table.
Yeah.
And then that'll put in perspective on what you should eat. Because like, if you're eating something from McDonald's, well, I mean, all the people in there have touched it. The people have picked whatever that is, like touched it, butchered, like packaged it, all that stuff. And like, you want to cut as many of those hands out.
Yeah, as possible.
And get it down to where hopefully you're just dealing with the butcher package to you.
Yeah.
That's it. So that you know exactly what you're getting. And also too, because I just started going, like, we've bought grass-fed ground beef, and we're starting to make it more of a habit now. Because it used to be before, oh, let's try it.
Dude, and it tastes way better.
Yeah.
The flavor profile is way different.
You would fall off and then you're back to the old routine and then you hop back on. But now we're trying to stay consistent, because if you look at a grass-fed beef compared to the really red meat that's in the plastic styrofoam carton, they look completely different, like you said, like completely color and everything. Like even
the
how
texture.
the texture.
Yeah, the texture, the way the fat melts in a pan. Dude, I walked into Hy-Vee the other day and I was like, what the fuck? Look at those apples. Mm-hmm. Why are they so big? And look at the organic apples. Like the regular ones are like sheeny, and dude, I swear to God, they were this fucking big. Like they were huge.
Yeah.
And the organics were like dull and this big.
Yeah. You know God knows what they were pumping that shit in.
You go to an apple orchard, pick an apple off the vine, and it ain't very big. Tell me it's not the best damn apple you've ever had in your life. Yeah. Versus like the one in the store. Yeah. It's like, why do I need a waxy coating on my apple? It's like, just let me eat the freaking apple. I just want to eat my food and not be poisoned.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
It's because when money's involved, that's when shit starts becoming corrupt, I feel
like.
It's like, well, we want it to last longer, so let's put this wax shit on it because we don't want to lose any dollars on, know, like.
It's like a McDonald's French fry. Why are there 15 ingredients in a French fry?
I didn't even know that.
It should be like, dude, it may even be more.
How the hell is there? But it's just potatoes and whatever grease you put it in, right?
No, it's way more.
That's what I'm saying. Like that.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm saying. And it should be salt. That's what it should be, but it's not.
Oh, and salt. Yeah,
but it's not. Dude, it's crazy.
That's
insane. It's in everything. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, like I'm looking at John's pre-workout here, right? Mm-hmm. I would almost bet there's less ingredients in this pre-workout than there is in McDonald's French fry. Is that not absurd?
Yeah, that's wild.
Like when you think about that, that is fucking mind-boggling.
Yeah, that's wild, dude. Yeah, I don't know. And also, if you are for, like, everybody's against factory farming. Yeah. Like, I don't like that shit. Huge, big, like, agricultural farm. Like, nobody wants that. Well, then why don't you start buying healthier options? Like, when you buy grass-fed, more than likely it's probably coming from a way better place than you would if you would have bought the other shit.
Dude,
hopefully.
Go out to Chateau Milk. You know what I mean? And check them out. You can do a tour. It's really dope.
And it's like, their stuff a lot.
Bro, their animals are really well taken care of. That's what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not saying that like these animals are getting beaten, but like we've seen the pictures of like the chickens, like, and 20 chickens shoved in a cage.
More than that, I mean? I've seen hundreds, and they don't see dark because they get bigger when they keep them in dark places. Yeah. And then they pump them full of shit because why the hell is a chicken like 40% larger than what it was like 60 years ago?
So have you seen? Oh man, his name's Morgan. I forget his full name, but he did the documentary called Super Size Me, where he ate McDonald's.
I remember that
for like a month. So
I haven't seen it in a minute.
He did another one on the Big Chicken Corporation.
Oh no!
And about
is this new?
New-ish. It's probably like 10 years ago.
Okay.
But he talks about like the health halo, and it's not actually they're pumping the chickens with anything. The chickens are actually genetic engineered to grow to full size within 6 to 7 weeks. So like some of these chickens are growing so fast that they're dying of heart attacks because the hearts can't keep up. Their bones are breaking because they're growing so fast that their bones can't keep up. And it's like, you know, when you're buying things, you're paying. If you go buy a free range egg, right? Mm-hmm. You're paying more. But really, like all they had to do was put a little fence that's like 2 feet outside of the coop.
Yeah,
that's free range because they can go outside.
Yeah,
you know
I know
what I mean?
that's where the labels start getting weird.
Yeah, so he calls it like the health halo,
free range.
So if you're gonna buy an egg, it's like buy pasture raised over cage free, because cage free just means they're in a fucking huge barn and they don't get outside. Yeah.
I've heard that before.
But
like,
they
get a 30-minute
man.
recess, so it's cage free.
Yeah,
but it's like, well, that don't make any. Hold on.
So they're not actually injecting the meat with anything. They're just bioengineered.
So they're
to
breeding
grow faster.
That way. Like dogs. Yeah,
100%.
That's insane. Yeah, and I've seen them packed into these hen houses, and I've got chickens in the back, and you know, I've seen videos, and I look at my chickens, and I'm like, what? That's a chicken? Holy shit! Like they're all in there, fucking can't even move and shit, fat as fuck. It's insane. And dude, I understand they're chickens. I get that. We have to eat them. I have no problem with that. But it's still a life. Because if you go and you look at my chickens, like they wait for you at the door when you let them out to walk, because we let them graze in the backyard. They'll let you pet them and stuff. Like they're not that stupid, that we think they are. They're still an animal, still
Yeah.
still a life. And to treat them that way is disrespectful as fuck, man. Like, I'm all for, eating chickens. I'm not that guy that's like, oh no, we can't eat meat.
Yeah.
But let's respect them.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It's like Atlantic salmon, right? Like Atlantic salmon really isn't even that good for you because it's so farmed that they inject dye into it to make it
give
orange.
it coloring.
Yeah. So it's like if you want to buy
God.
salmon, it's like you want to buy like wild caught, right? It's just crazy, man. Everything's so farmed and like the pesticides, everything's so killed. Like even like the soil is just so shit compared to what it used to be. It's like, why do we need 1,000 pesticides? Like, I don't understand it.
Right.
It's crazy.
It's money again, so they don't lose crops.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were talking about seed oils a lot too. I know
Yeah.
that hits, and like I said, I've had Mitch talk about that as well. I don't understand fully. I try to grasp the understanding of seed oils and how horrible they are. I do understand that they're linked to a lot of illnesses and stuff like that. But like, what was the intention? Why were they put in everything? I know preservatives for one, but what else was it used for?
Yeah, man. So it's like they were started back, I want to say it was like 1905, 1906. And it was started because there was a soap used to be made out of tallow, right? Mm-hmm. And there was a tallow shortage. They were trying to find something to like make soap with. So they looked to the textile industry and used a byproduct of cotton seeds, which was like the cottonseed like oil that was getting expressed out. Oh. So they found when they could make soap with it and it held everything they needed, was great. And then at one point they either messed with the process or messed it up accidentally and saw that it was soft and malleable, kind of like a butter. So they thought, wow, we can sell this as like a healthy alternative to butter because it doesn't have the calories, right? And that's kind of where it started to come in. And actually that's where Crisco was invented, because it was a guilt-free grease because it didn't have the calories.
Yeah, but what about the nutrients?
Well, there are no nutrients. And back then they didn't really know that. So there is a guy, he was like the Ansel Keys. So he basically paid off like these big companies to say like how butter is bad. Mm-hmm. And he actually hushed like how bad tobacco was and cigarettes are. And he made this like saturated fat was like the fucking enemy. So like, how long have we been told like cholesterol's bad for us?
Right.
It's like, dude, if cholesterol was so bad, 25% of our brain is cholesterol. So like over the last 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, we bastardized cholesterol, lowered it. But what's happened? Dementia, Alzheimer's has skyrocketed. Okay, so like there's a direct correlation between lowering cholesterol and Alzheimer's. So it's like it got put in, and then it's just cheap, right? It doesn't cost anything compared to like butter because there's so much of it. But it has to be.
And it's the extract from what? Cotton?
Like cotton seeds, rape seeds. Like these different,
because I've seen those videos of the machines and it's spitting out this weird fluid.
So it's like expeller press. So like you said, and it has to be bleached, steamed, and deodorized before we can even ingest it. Because if you went and ingested like the raw form, it would actually kill you.
Oh fuck.
And so, but it's cheap, right? So you start using it as a filler instead of butter, your price goes down. Mm-hmm. You start using it as a filler, over maybe an egg, price goes down. You know what I mean? Like actual mayonnaise is actually made of egg yolk. You sub that out with an oil, it's cheap. So now price goes down. You're making more per product. And as the years have gone by, it went from like being like 2% of our diet to 4% of our diet to now it's like 30% of our calories within a day come from like those oils. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's in everything. If you look at the back of a mayo jar, it's going to have some type of oil. If you look at the back of barbecue sauce, ketchup, any salad dressing probably starts with it. So it's like it's just got moved in because it was cheap, and it's also government subsidized.
Right.
Then you get high inflation, which leads to high insulin resistance, which leads to type 2 diabetes and just more obesity. It's nutty, man.
And then to find out that the FDA finally in 2024 says that it's okay for you to eat eggs.
Now they're healthy again.
Yeah, they're healthy again. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. And then people wonder why everybody's happy about RFK going after all
Dude,
this
and it's
shit.
like the people who tell you not to eat eggs don't look healthy. It's like the people who tell you to eat eggs, they look healthy.
I know, it's insane, dude. I've never understood that. And even too, like for people who are vegetarians or vegans, it's like, why not eat them? They're not even fertile. Like chickens lay eggs regardless without a rooster.
Dude,
So-
yeah, it's not even cruel. And it's like, and some people do the vegetarian thing, right? Because they don't like meat,
Right.
which that's cool. But the people who do it to like save animal lives, it's like, do you realize how many like chipmunks and bees and moles and squirrels get
Big
murdered?
combines, yeah.
Bro, you don't know how many animals get murdered in these avocado farms? Like, dude, all the time.
I bet. Yeah, and when you're in a big ass combine, you're not going to see what's exactly down. At the bottom, you're not going to catch everything.
No. Well, and they'll just kill it, right? Because they don't want it to mess with the crop.
Right. Right.
So it's like it's really not doing anything.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that people when they go vegan, it's like they just don't look healthy.
Mm-hmm.
They look like pale. Like I mess with my boy.
Unless they're like substitute. Some will say they're vegan, and then they're like getting all these different like the substitutions of like powders and stuff like that. Like they're what is that called? They're using it to supplement.
Yeah, like just
they're not
like
truly,
a powder.
Yeah,
my favorite vegans are the ones that like live on like Oreos and like Swedish fish.
Oh god,
it cracks me up. Health, right?
Yeah.
I mess with my boy because like he's my best friend, but when he came to me, he was doing like the green juices in the morning and this and that and all these HIIT workouts. And now he looks crazy. And I'm like, bro, and he got headshots done. I was like, dude, look how sickly you look in this headshot and look how healthy you look in this headshot.
Yeah.
And like even the texture of his skin was different. And I'm like, and you thought you were healthy there and you look like you're going to die.
That's insane, dude.
It's just crazy to think like what a healthy, well-rounded diet can do, man.
Yeah, it can do a lot, man. Like we said at the beginning, like it can help you. It literally changes your thought process. I think a lot of the reason why we're fighting as much as we are, I'm not saying that we wouldn't fight, but I think a lot of it is just a lot of unhealthy people, and that goes both sides.
Yeah,
a lot of unhealthy people right now. And if we were to start becoming healthier, eating better, I think we'd be able to think a lot more clearly.
100%. Yeah. I just finished a book called Dark Calories where I learned a lot more about seed oils, and it literally talks about hangry being a metabolic dysfunction disorder, like being hangry because like your body crashes so hard, and if it doesn't have this amount of sugar or oil or something like that to function off of, like it can't handle it, and then you get pissy.
Right. On your average American diet. But if they were to change that and eat healthier, you wouldn't have that as much. You wouldn't be as hangry as you normally would be.
Dude, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. So you ended up opening up your own gym. What the hell led you down that road? Because I'm sure that was fucking tough. Like opening up a gym, competing with all these other gyms around, like it, that market's got to be pretty tough, to try to stand out and try to be unique and different and gain your clientele. So what made you want to go that route?
Yeah, dude. So I was a trainer for a few years, and I finally got to a point to where it's so funny. I didn't want to wake up at 5 a.m., right? And I still wake up at 5 a.m., but I didn't want to wake up at 5 a.m. to go train somebody.
Right.
If I was going to wake up, I wanted to do my own thing. So I had to think of a way. When you're training, you can make a lot of money being a trainer.
Mm-hmm.
People don't understand that. Like, there's a lot of money in the training game. But it's like, if I'm not there, I don't make money.
Right.
And so, like, how do I make money when I'm on vacation? How do I make money when I'm having dinner with my family? How do I make money any time of the day?
Passive income. Yeah.
Passive income. So it's like the gym was logical, right? I wanted a place to train. I already pay a gym to work there. Why don't I just lower my overhead and have my own place, and then I'll start subsidizing with memberships, and then I'll bring other trainers in and charge them a fee to work here.
Right.
And it's just slowly, I think anyone who works out, they all want to own a gym, but it's just a logical next step. And we got into it, and dude, I love it. I love the competition. I love everything about it, but I love the community aspect.
But how hard was that transition? Because I mean, that's got to be tough opening up a gym, when there's, like, when did you open up?
We opened December of 2020. And I felt like, dude, it was hard, but it wasn't hard at the same time. Like it happened so organically.
Yeah.
My wife was like, hey, if you want to start buying equipment, like just, put it in the garage. And so I started cranking out equipment, and she's like, okay, that's probably enough for now. And I was like, nah, I'm going to get this piece too, and this piece too, and that piece. And then my buddy showed me a spot right up the road that it fit within my budget already. Like I could afford the building. And And then it was like I took a month off to do like construction and paint. And then, I leveraged some of my clients who were in the trades. Like one of my clients, her husband did construction. So he came in and did what I needed.
Oh, that's
my
dope.
other client was a painter. So I gave him a year of free sessions once a week. And he painted my entire building and my ceiling. All I had to do was supply the paint.
Nothing more powerful than the bartering system.
Dude. And fitness is powerful with that.
Yeah, it is. Everybody wants to get fit.
I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I probably still don't know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was just a passion of wanting to help people and serve people. And that's where it kind of stemmed from. Yeah.
Did COVID cause a huge issue opening up around that time?
No, it actually it did, but it didn't because it helped us because so many people took away the 24-hour access and we opened with it.
Oh, really?
And we didn't make
You opened up with the 24-hour?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And we didn't make anyone wear a mask.
Oh, dope, dude.
In the state of Kansas, if you were doing anything physically exerting, you didn't have to wear a mask. So it's like you go into Genesis, you had to wear your mask in.
Yeah, Planet Fitness made me wear my mask on Johnson Drive.
But then you could take it off when you started working out. It was the dumbest thing ever.
Oh, I know, bro.
So
I remember the booths when you get into your restaurant.
Oh my God.
You had to have it until you sat down.
Yes.
And
then I could take it off.
All of a sudden, these two windows that they made, they made the makeshift.
Yes. The fiberglass.
Somehow that wouldn't get to the other side.
Bro, it was so stupid. And it was
or the
like
arrows on the floor.
Oh, it pissed me off. Yeah. I was a non-masker, but we didn't require anyone to wear masks. I didn't make my trainers wear masks.
And they didn't fuck with you at all? Like
no, I
cops
think
or
I
anything
think
like
we were
that?
so small that we just kind of flew under the radar, honestly.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, I really don't think the cops cared.
Yeah.
And we didn't have any problems. And it was like, it was a tail end of 2020, right? We opened in December. So it wasn't like it was in March.
Right. Right.
So
but you've seen some of those videos. Like I remember Bradley Martin, he was talking about a lot of that shit. I mean, of course, this is California, but he was having issues with them trying to shut his gym down because he was staying open.
Yeah.
And even when I used to go to the Johnson Drive Planet Fitness, they were still requiring you had to have your mask on even while working out. I remember that.
Yeah.
And of course, we all chin strapped it and just kept going. But yeah, it was just insane, man. It made no sense at all. And it kind of did, like, I didn't want to really go to the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it kind of wanted to back away. And I was pissed because they got rid of the 24 hours. It's like, why do I even have this membership? I got it for 24 hours.
And it's like, it's for our safety. It's like, it's for our safety, but we're trying to close gyms that keep us healthy, but you kept liquor stores open.
Yeah.
And it's for your safety to not be around all these people. Then why are you fucking condensing us to hours? Like, have you ever gone to a gym that wasn't 24 hours and it's like, hey, it's Memorial Day. We're only going to be open from 8 to noon today. Fucking everyone's there from 8 to noon. So it's like you take all these stores, all these gyms, and it's like we're only going to be open for 5 hours a day to limit exposure. But you're fucking reeling us in here like cattle. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, man, it helped us a lot with the 24 hours. We didn't require masks. I had a decent, I don't want to say following, but like a decent amount of people knew who I was already. So when I opened a gym, it kind of helped.
From personal training?
Yeah, within the area. So we started gaining traction. We had good equipment. I handpicked everything. Good music. And I think it was just...
good music is everything.
Dude, it's everything.
How do you do that though? Like how do you accommodate? I mean, most people are going to have their headphones in, but how do you accommodate a different variety of people that come in? You just kind of have a playlist with all sorts of shit on it. We
usually do clean rap or rock, and like sometimes you'll get some cussing in there, but I try to keep it clean-ish. Like I don't want like F-bombs dropped every second. And that's just kind of what it is, man. You know what I mean? We had the iPad out like when we first opened for people to change it, but there were so many arguments over music that I was just like, dude, I'm taking it. You either listen to this or you don't.
And most people I feel like would wear headphones.
They do. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, I don't like the music. Wear headphones. I don't you don't have to like the music. That's okay.
Get some good noise canceling headphones. You'll be all right.
It works great. But we wanted to open the gym around community. Like, how do we help people? How do we serve people? To me, like, there's no bigger gift in life than serving. Like serving people, helping them become better. And, we opened with a great culture, great community, and we just grew. And within, a year, I think we expanded, doubled in size. A year later, we opened.
In a year, you expanded?
Yeah.
Damn, that's really good.
And then a year later, we opened another one. And now that one's been open, about a year and a half. We've been chugging along. Kansas? One's in Lee Summit, and then one's in Overland Park. Yeah.
Nice.
And now, you're learning, like, And now it's like kind of where like the hard fun part starts, where it's like you grew so fast off word of mouth, and now it's like, okay, well now like word of mouth is still king, but like where do we market? Where do we put our money? Where do we go to get in front of more people and things like that, and finding out little nuances.
Also too, probably trying to be different, right? I mean, you don't want to be like cookie cutter like every other gym. So how do we stand out?
Yeah.
You know, what are some of the ways that you kind of were, you know, I know community is a big thing for you too, but was there certain equipment that you're like, man, that I haven't seen this anywhere?
Yeah.
Like it's more like the innovation with better equipment. And, you know, I've seen like some of these machines are wild, dude. It's not just your basic, you know, bench press and squat rack. Like there's all sorts of different shit they have now.
Yeah. A lot of it is equipment, man. It's equipment and it's atmosphere. So good lighting. You know, dark walls to create more shadows for good pictures. And then a lot of it's equipment, man. It's all handpicked. Some of it's brand new. Some of it's like 30, 40 years old. You know what I mean? I have a couple chain driven pieces. I think it's about finding equipment can't just find at every gym. And I think that's what matters.
Yeah.
I don't care about things matching. I care about good pieces. So when you walk into my gym, you may see 10 different, I think I counted one day in my Overland Park location. I have like 15 different brands of equipment.
Damn.
So it's like I pick pieces that I feel like are really good products
that are going to work.
Yeah. And then we're going to put those in. You know what I mean?
You know, it's funny that you said lighting too, because that was a thing I seen at OGKC when I've worked out there a handful of times. They have like these dope ass like ring lights and mirrors in the locker rooms and stuff like that for people to take photos. That's a big draw. You know,
it is, man. And look at some of the really good gyms around the area. Like OGKC is a good gym. Mm-hmm. You know, Flex Fitness is a good gym.
Yeah, I've been there too.
And they all have good equipment. They have good lighting, good music. You know what I mean? It's like we can all be somewhat similar, but we're all also vastly different. You know, if you walked into every one, there may be similarities, but there are also going to be a lot of differences.
Yeah, they have their character.
Yeah. And for us, it's like it's customer service based. So it's like when you walk in, dude, if you work for me, you better fucking stand up, smile, and say hello. And you better also smile and say goodbye and have a good day.
Right.
Think about it as a restaurant. If you go to two different restaurants, one, oh, my bad. If you go to two different restaurants and they could be the exact same, okay?
Yeah.
Let's just say the same restaurant, but you go 2 different nights and you have host A and host B. That's the first person you see when you walk in. It's the last person you see when you leave. The host A walks in. Hey, how are you doing tonight? You know what I mean? What can I do for you? Hey, have a great night. You know, thanks for coming in. We'll see you next time.
Right.
Host B, hey, how many?
Oh, yeah.
And then they just look at you as you leave. Like, you're going to have 2 totally different experiences at that restaurant solely based off the first interaction you have.
Oh, yeah.
And so it starts at the front desk. It's like, could I make more money by not staffing my gyms? Dude, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I can make so much more money. But it's like, it's important to me that you're greeted and you're welcomed, and you can choose to spend your money anywhere.
Right.
But you chose to spend it with us. So we want you to know that it's like appreciated.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. I know. I used to go to a purple gym that they had that type of service. I won't name their name so that way they won't sue me. But yeah, dude, you would fucking walk in there and you'd be like, you'd just be a ghost. You know what I mean? Like, or if you needed help, you'd just be waiting there and they're just like, they don't give a fuck. They're like, whatever, dude.
For a gym that's supposed to be for everyone, but they don't care you're there.
Yeah, and I'm paying. Like, I don't want, I'm not saying, like, because I've never been the individual. I'm paying, so drop everything for me. Like, I'm not like that. Like, but if I'm walking in there, at least, you know, I could, if I need help, like, I feel like there's somebody there that's going to help me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you have a question, ask.
Yeah.
We'll take care of it. And I'm not that person either. You know, depending on the thing. Like, I had a maintenance guy one time. He's like, oh, if this happens again, this is how you fix it. And I was like, hey, bro, like, pay $3,000 a month to live here.
Yeah.
I don't want to fix it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to call you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You got to do your job.
Yeah. But for the most part, it's like, I pay to be here. It's like, dude, you do pay to be here and I'm grateful for it, but so does everyone else.
Right.
You know, and like, if I, you know, need to use a piece of equipment, like, hey man, how many more sets you got? Oh, you can just have it. No, how many sets you got? Oh, I got 2. Then finish.
Yeah.
Well, it's your gym. You pay to be here.
Yeah.
If you don't pay to be here, I'm not here. So it's like, take your time, man. I'll wait. You know what I'm saying?
Do you have any like type of arguments like that? I bet you have. It happens quite a bit on the gym floor.
We don't know, dude. No. We don't have that. Like, we don't have drama at our gym.
Really?
We've never had anything stolen, you know, knock on wood. We've never had any fights. We've had 2 people that caused issues. We kicked them out. You know, if you're going to be a problem creator, we're going to be a problem solver.
Right.
And it's not going to last very long.
Yeah, because it's not hard, man. If somebody's using your fucking machine, all you got to do is go up to them and be like, hey, man, like you said, how many sets you got left? Okay, two. Hey, man, do you mind if I get that after you? Like,
yeah.
That's all. Like, I understand if you got somewhere to be, but it's just things aren't always going to go your way,
you
man.
can work in or you can wait.
Yeah,
like,
or
it's
do
up to
something
you.
else. Find
or
another
do
machine.
something else. Yeah, and that's fine. And it's like, no, man, I would say everyone at our gyms, like, they're courteous, they're nice, they have good gym etiquette. Like, even our kids, man, like, people hate high schoolers in the gym. I love it. The kids that come to us, like, they get their shit done, they train hard. You know, every now and then they fuck around. I'm like, hey, quit.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I like it. Like, why can't we help these kids who want to get in shape be the next, like, generation?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, we should be happy.
Like, pass down the knowledge.
Yeah, because when I was in high school, no one was like, we're going to go to the gym afterwards.
Yeah.
At least when I was in high school, like, this whole workout culture wasn't even, I felt, a thing when I was growing up.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I just turned 34.
Okay, so I'm 33. We're on the same age. Like, do you remember in high school? Maybe because you had that particular friend.
I did powerlifting, and powerlifting was a sport, and our team was pretty good.
Okay,
but
so you were immersed into that world.
But like the rest of the kids weren't really going to the gym.
like
they were starting to, but like not like they are nowadays.
Yeah, they weren't making like, hey, come to the gym with me type vlogs. Like, that's all new, and I think it's fucking dope, man.
Yeah.
Like, people talk shit on it, but like, why? Like, they're literally doing something healthy and encouraging other people to do it as well.
You know, I read something in a book the other day that I just finished, and it said thinking small is a worst thing you can do for the people around you.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe I want to own 10 gyms, and I want to open some restaurants, and I want to be a centimillionaire. For those who don't know, centa is just 100. So I want to be worth over $100 million one day.
Yeah.
It's like, could that piss off 30 people? 100%. But could it inspire one person? Yeah. So it's like, if I'm thinking small, what does that do for my employees? Absolutely jack shit. That means that, like, they're never going to move up. They're never going to get paid more. They're not going to do X, Y, Z because I'm scared of doing something. And it's like, the bigger I think, the bigger I go, the more the people around me get more. Right. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, it's little things like, oh, I don't want to, you know, one of my goals within the next 2 years is to hire a part-time house manager, someone who can come in, help clean my house, help cook my meals, things like that, because I'm busy. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, well, what do people think of me? It's like, dude, I'm busy. And it's like, now I get to be a better father and a better husband, because the things that were taking time out of my day when I'm working all day, now I can come home and just be with my family.
And it probably grow your business too, because you have more time to focus.
I have more time to focus on my business. And what else does it do? It gives someone else a paycheck. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm also putting money in someone else's pocket by also putting money and time in my pocket. Oh, yeah, and that's powerful. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, dude, do yourself a favor to the people around you. Think big.
Mm-hmm. There's a big push into becoming personal trainers. I see it a lot on Instagram. A lot of people are, you know, putting it in their bio. Do you have anything like, you know, any sort of advice or a guide on like how to either get started or how to stay in it? Because I'm sure that's a hard, like, building up your clientele, building up your network. And I've seen the photos of the people that you coach, and I mean, the results speak for itself. So you know what you're doing. I mean, some of the physiques on the men and women that you post in your stories, man, is incredible.
Thanks, man.
Like, I don't even know. I'm like, how like it's like, I'm not like a huge, like, I've watched bodybuilder documentaries and stuff like that. Like, I know who some of them are. I've had John Ott on, you know, we have talked with him, and so I'm not like immersed into it, but I know about it. But when I see it, I admire it, because I'm like, dude, I know the work that I do to try to keep this mid-ass physique that I have. Yeah. Like, look at that. Like, that's fucking insane, man.
Yeah, man. And like, everyone does want to be a trainer nowadays, right? And it's like, it is probably the lowest barrier to entry thing that there is. And it's like, and there's a lot of money in training. And I think that's what appeals to people, is that they can make a lot of money and sit at home and type from a laptop. Right. You know what I mean? They have time to just do fitness. Like, but if you don't have the passion for it, you're not gonna last. It's like, if you don't have the passion, it's going to be seen through. If you don't have the passion, you're not going to be willing to text people all fucking day. Yeah. Answer questions, put out fires. hey, oh man, I'm going to quit. I have XYZ, dude. You know what? Let's just hop on a call and talk this out. Cause like, I feel like this is a rash decision. 9 times out of 10, I'm right. It's like, yeah, you're right. I guess if I just did move this and move that, like I'd have plenty of time and I could do this. You can't fake passion. If you talk to John Ott, the man has passion.
Yeah.
You can't fake that shit.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel with my gyms and my fitness. It's like in my fitness coaching, it's like you can't fake the passion. You can't fake wanting to help people. You can't fake waking up at 5 a.m. to peak someone for a show. You know, you can't fake walking around hotel room to check on your athletes. It's like you either want it or you don't.
Right.
And it's like you're into that shit. So I think if you're not, I think people get into it for the money, but they don't make money, so they leave because they don't care. You know what I mean? That's when you see, you check in with your coach, you don't get a response for 3 days. You know what I mean? You ask them a question, you don't get a response for a week, or maybe you're ignored, you know, because it's a paycheck. It's not a passion versus like, I truly love helping people. And my passion just happens to make me money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Cause that's got to be a grind too, dude. You're dealing with so many personalities. Like you've got all these clients, you got to be able to manage your time. I mean, you know, with all of them, appointments, I mean, you've got to be having your schedules right. I mean, there's all sorts of things. You can't just say, I want to be a personal trainer and just think that you're just going to go out there and just.
That's literally what it is.
Like there's nothing else behind it. Oh, well, I know how to work out, so I'll be a good personal trainer. It's like, well, there's a little more into than that. You know, the sales part of it too. You got to be able to sell the shit.
Yeah. And it's like, so let me pull this up. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 unreads that I got on my way here, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Jesus Christ. How long have we been going for, Dom?
10. Well, now I'm counting the day.
Hour 40. Hour 40? Yeah. Damn, in an hour 40, you've already got all that. Jesus.
So now I'm counting the day. So I have 4 unreads since I've been here. Okay. 5 if you want to count my wife.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm up to 12. That's just through my messaging apps. And then 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Jeez.
So that's 22 different conversation streams I've had today with either a current client or a past client or a potential client. So these are all people within my ecosystem. Okay. And then if you pull up my schedule, it was up, move cardio. And then that's tomorrow's schedule. I had a catch-up call. I had a mentorship call. I had a one-on-one trainer meeting. I had an in-person session. Then I trained. Then I had a manager meeting. Then I had another in-person session. And then I canceled and moved an in-person session that's supposed to be after that to come here and do this. So it's like, dude, you can't fake that shit.
Yeah.
Like you either are into it. So like, what is that? Like over 30 points of contact. That's every day.
That's crazy, man.
You know what I mean? So it's like, if you don't have a passion for it, like you can't stick with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think your next hire is an assistant.
So I just brought my wife on, and it's my wife is doing a lot of stuff for me.
Yeah.
And she's controlling my schedule, and she's doing things like that and answering some emails for me. And it's fantastic. And it actually helps me.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like you get into it for the money, like you can build a 6-figure coaching business. Like, but if you don't love it, it's like you're just burnt out and you don't want to do it.
Yeah. Do you ever get burnt out though, even though you love it? Do you have your moments where you have to kind of like focus in and pull yourself out of it, or you just always feel like this is
I mean, you become like, you're the fireman, right? You're constantly putting out fires. You're the emotional dumpster. People dump on you all the time.
Right.
Your in-person clients dump on you. Your online clients dump on you. Like anytime anything is going bad, I'm gonna know about it. It's like, trainers are kind of like bartenders. Like you'll tell your entire life story.
Yeah.
Like my husband cheated on me. My dog died. My grandpa died. I totaled my car. It's like, dude, it just gets dumped. And every now and then, you just get a little overwhelmed.
Just trauma dumping on you every day.
And that's when like you see me all post. I'm like, hey, like I put my phone up for like the next 3 days. Maybe it'll start on a Friday, and I'll just put my phone in D&D, and I'm not responding to anybody.
Yeah.
I got to have that time where I can like kind of like calm down, reconnect with my family. Or, like, and also being a coach, it's like, it never stops. So we're going to Disney this year. Like we're working our park days around like my check-in days because I'm going to have to work while we're there. Or on the flip side, we went to New York in November and, cancellations are part of training.
Yeah.
From the moment my plane left Kansas City to the moment my plane landed in Kansas City, it was 5 days. I got 6 cancellations.
Damn.
You don't think that shit's stressful? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it never stops. It's like, it's a constant thing. So it's like, even when you're on vacation, when you're not on vacation, when you're just trying to have a date night, you wake up to messages, you go to bed with messages. It's like, you got to love it, man.
Yeah.
Because it's literally a grind. You don't get to clock out. It's a constant thing.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine, man.
And that's just a coaching business. That's not even the gyms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is a whole nother animal in itself.
Yeah, then you're having to run the entire gym on top of that. And you've already expanded. You have a second gym now. It's like, damn.
Yeah, and
2 locations.
And luckily I have an amazing guy out there
Yeah.
who I'm able to pay to run it, and he's fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's like I can focus on one, he focuses on the other. We have our meetings, we go over what's needed, and we go from there. But it's like, you got to have the people around you.
Yeah. Did you compete at all in bodybuilding?
Yeah, I've done
So
like,
what all shows have you done?
oh my
I mean, you don't have
God.
to list all of them, but I guess just some of
I
them.
think I've done like 10 or 12.
Okay.
Yeah. My latest one was 22.
Mhm.
I did, what was it? The Nebraska State Championships and Battle Champions.
Oh, nice.
I feel like I did 3.
Is there like a
Can't
camp
remember.
for those? Because I've talked to some other people, that I've had on, and you'd have like a 8 to 10 week camp, or I don't know what you call them, a prep. I think that's what they call it.
Yeah, it's not like a fight camp where you go away.
Yeah.
Now in the pros they do, you know what I mean? They have like the camel crew like over in the Middle East. They'll go over there and live there for like 20 weeks in prep.
Oh, really?
Because that's where their coach is at. They train there, they eat there, and like these guys are like, they're put up in their rooms, their meals are brought. But for like me, it's just like maybe 16 to 18 weeks is dedicated to just fat loss. And it's up in the morning, you're doing cardio, your eating schedule, different things like that. And you're just getting ready.
Yeah, it gets pretty tough, I feel like. I mean, dude,
Yeah.
cutting, like you guys are almost to the point of, I mean, I've heard some of them being on the point of death, door almost on some of those shows, like the big bodybuilding, like the Arnold Schwarzenegger type shows. You know what I mean? Like those dudes are like literally like what, 1% body fat or some shit.
Probably like 3, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty rough. Can I run to the bathroom one more
No,
time?
you're good.
I'm
Yeah,
so sorry.
we can break the whole 8 hours sleeping. Yeah, I don't know, man, because sometimes when I get 8, like, don't get me wrong, I feel good. I feel fucking cognitively like tired as fuck. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I think everyone adjusts, right? So I think it just depends on how good your sleep is, but
right. Or I think it probably based on the individual. Like Jocko claims he only needs like 5 hours of sleep or some shit.
yeah, some people do. Some people,
Yeah.
well, like let's say you're one of those people that you fall asleep and you're instantly in REM.
You're right.
Yeah, you probably don't need as much, but let's go back. We're talking about
competitions.
competitions.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, dude, it does get brutal at the end. I mean, some of these dudes are doing like 90 minutes, 2 hours of cardio a day, 0 carb. You know what I mean? It's like you're not sleeping very good because you're on stimulants. I know my last show, bro, I went from like 290 to like 220 in like 25 weeks. Like
On stimulants, how? Like the pre-workouts and shit like that? Like that
yeah,
type
well,
of
your
stimulants?
pre-workouts, like let's say you're taking PEDs that are like
Right.
clenbuterol or something, that's gonna like jack your heart rate up.
Uh-huh.
So that's a stimulant. You're exhausted, so you're probably drinking more caffeine, and then you're just like stemmed out all day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you do notice a difference because right now I'm on TRT. I've been on TRT for the last couple of years, but I go back and forth between DECA and TRT.
Yeah.
So I'll do like a DECA blend, and right now I think I'm doing 2 cc's of test and 1 cc of DECA right now. But it is a little, it's different.
Yeah,
when you're on it. You
it's a
know
little
what I mean?
different, man.
Yeah.
And then you're also adding in like
you feel
dude,
hot sometimes.
let's
and
say you're
shit.
in a contest prep, you could be running like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different drugs if you want. You know what I mean? So it's like you have all these things going on within your body. It's like they're all battling. So it's like sleep takes a hit. You're starving, so that's harder. You're just run down. You know what I mean? It almost gets to a point of like well, it doesn't almost. It does get to a point of like almost like chronic fatigue.
Right.
So I always say it takes like a good 6 to 8 weeks post show before you feel like yourself again, because you have to have time for that fatigue to like wear off the body.
You know how they always say the whole PED deal, and you open up however much you want to open up into it, but there's this big division, I guess, in the bodybuilding community of natural versus people on PEDs.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Some of those people that claim natural, man, I kind of big skeptical hippo eyes sometimes with them. Not saying, maybe they, they I don't know if they do any type of blood samples or urine. I don't know how they do in those shows and stuff like that to be able to actually verify if you're natural.
Dude, if you're doing natty shows, like there's typically, like, I know the natty shows here in town, there's you have to take a lie detector, and then if you win, you have to like come off stage and piss like now.
Really?
And it all gets
lie detector. I feel like it's kind of iffy,
Yeah, it's like, have you taken a banned substance? No, you know what I mean.
Yeah, clench your butt cheek or put a tack in your shoe or some shit.
Yeah,
to be able to manipulate.
But man, at the same time, I feel like at the highest level, like they are doing more stuff. Like I've heard of some divisions even doing like hair, because it keeps it for a long time.
Yeah.
But dude, there's just fucking freaks out there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like we are not put together the same.
Yeah, genetic wise.
Like I have a client who I talked to this morning. Dude, he's just like genetically kind of freaky. You know what I mean? And it's like he gains muscle, he stays lean. Like, I mean, we've seen the guys that are like, they eat buffets every day, milkshakes, ice cream, and they have abs year round. Doesn't matter what they do.
And you know what? I laugh about the whole PED, because people think you're on PED, so all of a sudden you're going to be a bodybuilder. And I always tell them, I'm like, well, I'm on TRT. Do I look like a bodybuilder to you?
Right.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
People say that to me all the time, and I'm like, dude, I've been on PEDs for like 10 years, and like, people still think I don't work out.
I know that's the misconception. It's like you just don't inject yourself, and all of a sudden you wake up in a couple of weeks, you go on your back for a couple of weeks, and you're just all of a sudden big. Now, I'm not going to say it doesn't do stuff for you; it does. But like I've done a couple of different cycles here and there throughout the years, and I've seen benefits.
Yeah,
but I don't look like Ronnie Coleman. No.
Well, and Ronnie Coleman looked better than 90% of people when he was natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because he's a freak,
genetic freak. Yeah.
But dude, you still have to eat. Mm-hmm. You still have to train. I can take all the drugs I want. If I take a lot of drugs and I don't eat and I don't train, I'm not just gonna magically add muscle.
Yeah, and then like you said too, genetics play a factor in it as well. So you take two people that are on the same PEDs and one has better genetics, he's going to look way better than the other guy. I mean, it is what it is.
You see it all the time, and it's like, and then you have like, roid rage, and it's like, not really, man. Like, the tail end of a prep, are you roid rage or are you just starving and tired?
Yeah. Or are you not doing it properly?
And it hurts because like when you're in shape, you feel like you had the flu. Like it's achy. It doesn't feel good. Or it's like if you're an asshole and you have anger problems and you amplify your testosterone, wow, you're a bigger asshole. I would have never saw that coming.
Or two, you may just not be doing it correctly too. Like, are you just doing this shit and then dumping off of it? And then what are you doing to your hormone levels? Are you checking your blood work?
Yeah, 100%.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it's you got to check your bloods. I think there's a healthy way to do it, or as healthy as possible, right? And there's a non-healthy way to do it. And it's like eating clean, doing your cardio, doing your blood work religiously, taking your health supplements, But then there's also ways that like you don't do cardio. You eat whatever you eat. Fast food every day. You're still drinking.
You're doing like
you're not
bulk.
Doing blood work. You're doing a dirty bulk. You feel like shit. So it's like there's good ways and there's bad ways. Mm-hmm. You just got to decide what's good for you. But for the general public that thinks that like you just take steroids and blow up, like, tell me which ones, because I would love to know.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You ain't lying.
Yeah,
shit, I would like that too. Because in the jiu-jitsu community, there's kind of that talk, because there's no testing in jiu-jitsu, so there's going to be a lot of guys that are on PEDs, and there's going to be some that aren't. And there's always you're on TRT, that's why you're good, which that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make you better at technique.
It doesn't make
it could help you be stronger, right?
But that doesn't matter if there's a guy that is way better than you at jiu-jitsu. You can be strong all you want. I've seen bodybuilders come in. I've seen big guys come in that are really strong. If you don't know technique, you don't know technique.
Dude,
so you can't do anything.
I'm pretty strong. I feel like I would get my ass kicked if I went into an MMA gym.
But the same thing with bodybuilding. It's like you just because you're doing it, if you're not lifting the weights that they're lifting and following the plans that they have, it won't matter.
Doesn't do anything. You have to give the body a reason to adapt.
Yeah,
and drugs just don't make the
and I get it too. It's like, but are they testing in some of those big like? They've got to not be testing like what CBum competes in.
Oh, no, they don't test in those, man. That's kind of like an out of sight, out of mind.
So then why are we
thing.
bashing them? That's what I try to tell people in jiu-jitsu, which I don't really get anyone arguing with me on it. But when people call out, the Gordons and stuff like that, all these guys at the high levels, well, they're using PEDs. Well, they don't test for it. So what does it matter?
Well, they don't test for it. And to me, it's like, well, it's cheating. Why is it cheating? To me, I think maybe they're in it better than you.
Yeah.
Well, how can you say that? It's because it's like they're willing to take things further.
Yeah.
They're willing to go the extra mile. They're willing to do this. It's like, I forget what book I read, but it was they were talking to Olympians, and it was like, if you could take a drug today that would guarantee you an Olympic gold medal the next 10 years, but you drop dead at 10 years in one day, would you take it? And 90% of them said yes. They're willing to take things to the next level and push the boundaries because they want to be the best.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. Who wants to do what? And it's like, bodybuilders want a guinea pig on themselves. Go ahead. Do I think it's great for people to take obscene amounts of drugs? No, I know people locally that take stupid amounts of drugs, and they're not as good as you think they would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because CBum said that. He's like, everybody thinks my intake in PEDs has increased, and it hasn't.
No, it's probably gone down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
just
like,
probably better nutrition. He has more money for better, I don't know, better food, better supplements.
physio, but also he's
recovery.
Just better than you.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, CBum walking around before he worked out probably looked better than you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and
just like in the NFL, there's going to be guys like, you can play football all you want, but then there's name your running back, and you're just never going to be him.
Dude, we all, like, I was a fat kid growing up, and my friends had abs, they had cat delts, they had biceps. So it's like, look on the football field. Do the receivers look anything like, a lineman?
Right.
Absolutely not. So you're telling me genetically, they're faster, they're more athletic, but these guys are stronger. It's like, that's just part of the genetic pool, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, either hit the lottery or you don't. Like, you want to be better, pick your parents.
Some things are out of our hands.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, I mean, yeah, it's like looks. Like, Kim may not be as attractive as Sally.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because one tried harder. It's because one just has better genetics.
Right.
And that's just what it is.
Life
ain't fair.
And I think that's the cool thing about nowadays, though, too, when it comes to the whole PED stuff, is that I feel like it's becoming more open.
It is
more
100%.
Being able to talk about it without some sort of stigma assigned to you. I'm guessing like you said, you've seen that on your side, as well in your world that you're in. I think it's a good thing, man, because to be honest with you, I think when you shame and you outlaw things or make things legal, it's like, how do you more develop the research behind these things? I've heard that we're still using the same steroids that we're using like 60 years ago, or however long, it's like,
nothing's really changed, man. I think it's great. I think it's great that's talked about more.
Like, how far could we have been if they would have at least just looked at it instead of shutting it?
Instead of shutting it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's great that it's talked about more, but even though it's talked about more, man, you still have the people who are like, you're a fucking liar. You're taking way more than that. And it's like, so even the guys that are trying to be honest, be like, hey, this is what I do. It's like, no, you're a liar.
Right.
Because no one can fathom someone just being better than them naturally. Then it's like, you have to be doing something way more.
Right.
Because I'm doing this and I don't look like that.
Right.
Dude, they're just better. So I do think it's great that it is talked about, but at the same time, it's like, is it believed?
Yeah.
But I think having those conversations is how people get better. And that's how, like, talking is how, like, you save these young kids' lives who just want to go off the rails, and they're 16 and, they're crashing their natural hormones and trying to get on TRT at 16. It's like, bro, like, just listen to someone who's not an idiot.
Yeah. Well, I don't. And that's what I was kind of wondering about when CBum was on Chris Williamson, I think is his name's podcast. He didn't want to talk about what he was using or amounts because he didn't feel like that was a responsible thing. And it's like, maybe, but then you just want these people to figure it out on their own and possibly be doing something that's going to possibly harm them.
But you have to think about where CBum's coming from. His perspective is that, dude, there is no one in the fitness community more influential than Chris Bumstead. So if it's like,
if he does,
if he said, I do 1,000 milligrams of test and 1,000 milligrams of Primo, and I doubt it's even that much, and this and that. Well, then it becomes, I'm going to do the Chris Bumstead stack.
Yeah.
And then, Chris Bumstead could go stick a Tide Pod up his butthole and say he gained 10 pounds of muscle, and you're going to have people sticking Tide Pods up their butthole. You know what I mean? Like, he carries that type of influence. So it's like, I don't think I can blame him for not saying it.
And I don't think he has to.
Because I think he knows that'll happen.
Right. That his influence will end up, all these kids are going to want to do the same shit.
100%. Because Chris Bumstead is like God to these people, to some of these kids.
Yeah.
That's why high schoolers work out the way they do, is because of Chris Bumstead.
Yeah.
And it's like, he didn't ask for it. He just became it. But like, so it's hard, man, because I think it should be talked about, but I don't blame him either.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Because you're starting to see like all these guys like on YouTube that are 18, 19 years old, and they're fucking huge, dude.
And they look like they're 40.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to last long.
Yeah.
It just sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there is a smart way to use PEDs, right? Wouldn't you say? I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like there is, but I don't think you should be doing it that young.
Well, here's the thing, man. Let's go back to the chicken talk.
Yeah.
Okay. So these chickens are genetically engineered to be full size within 7 weeks. So it's like, you take a human body, what's healthier? Is it adding 50 pounds of tissue over 10 years or adding 50 pounds of tissue in 1 year?
Right.
First of all, it's like almost no one can do that, right? But it's like, that's what they try to do. And that creates a bigger strain on the heart. It creates a bigger strain on the body's processes. And then it's like, that's when you start to see the strain and things go down.
I see.
And I think that's why you see like heart attacks.
Yeah. So it should be a gradual growth instead of an instant. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it takes time. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So it's like, you want to do it healthy, like take your time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why a lot of your best pros, like, they've been training for 10 years before they turn pro. Like sometimes when these guys, they turn pro within 3 shows, they just kind of fizzle out.
Yeah.
Because it's like they hit it so hard and heavy to begin with. It's like, where do we go from here?
Well, that's what I wonder with guys like Chris Bumstead. It's like, he's so young. I mean, what is he, 28 or something like that? He's not very old.
Yeah.
And it's like, what happens afterwards? And I mean, you risk things when you want to compete at that level. I mean, are we boo-hooing all these NFL players that are 25 years old, just ramming into each other, fucking each other up?
It's the same thing, man. And it's like, and honestly, if Chris wasn't as big as he was, he'd probably still compete. But it's like, dude, he's making way more money out of bodybuilding. It's like, so he's like, why do I need to continue taking risks when it's like, the man owns what? He owns part of Raw. He owns part of Revive. He owns part of Gymshark. He has his own watch deals. He's probably going to get in movies. It's like, why continue to do it, bro?
Yeah.
Like, why push the boundaries?
Where I work in the factory, we're inhaling fucking fumes and shit at the machine shop I'm working at. I know the risk I'm taking. I'm probably shaving 10 years off my life, but I have to eat, so Chris Bumstead's saying the same shit.
And like the whole demonization around steroids is like, I think steroids are awesome. You know what I mean? I think they should have a steroid Olympics where it's like everyone who competes is on steroids. I bet it'd be more entertaining.
Yeah, more entertaining.
Maybe a UFC where everyone's on steroids.
Well, they should, just for the recovery aspect, I feel like, too. Even in the NFL, you're going to tell me those NFL guys aren't on steroids? Come on, man. Dude. Some of those dudes are big, man. Like,
I know.
And the beatings they take.
But then we talk, but they can, they can take pain pills every day and it's okay. But they can't take some growth to help recover.
Or some peptides. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, but it's so demonized, man. And it's like, oh, you're a steroid user. You're a cheater, dude. 90% of people who take testosterone, they just want to look better.
Right.
You know what I mean? Their husbands, their fathers, their business owners, their factory workers. They just want to look better.
Right.
You never hear of someone taking testosterone and killing a family of 4 in a driving accident.
Right.
Because they were impaired.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, now, like, we can even go back to the Chris Benoit thing. Like, you remember that?
No.
Chris Benoit, he murdered his kids. He killed his wife. Then he killed himself. And he was on steroids, but he was a professional wrestler in the 90s and 2000s. And it's like, steroids found at home. It's like, oh, he went crazy on steroids and killed his family.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, maybe steroids has something to do with it, or maybe his signature move was a flying headbutt off the top rope that he hit week after week after week for 20 years. Maybe the motherfucker had so bad CTE concussions that he just went crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, we see it. We see football players go crazy. You're telling me a flying headbutt ain't the same shit, whether it's fake or not. Those guys are still getting beat up.
Yeah. And how many people do we see on prescription pills that go and shoot up a school?
100%. So it's like, why I don't understand why it's demonized when like people don't take it to get high. People don't take it to escape reality. I mean, maybe they do because they want to look better, right? But it's like they just want to.
But isn't that a positive thing?
They want to look better and feel better.
Yeah. I mean, there is a thing called body dysmorphia, which, you have to manage that as well. But making your body better and more efficient and look better is going to ultimately make you feel better.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can get lost down the rabbit hole of never being enough. But I mean, you could say that about a lot of things, that
dude, it's like I've had clients come to me and they're like, I'm depressed. Mm-hmm. I'm tired. I'm always sore. And I just never want to have sex. Mm-hmm. Like my libido sucks. And they're like 24. So boom. All right, let's get blood work done. Okay, well, your testosterone levels are 150.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, let's go talk to a doctor about getting you on TRT. I don't want to take steroids. So you would rather
just feel that
have
way.
No sex drive, be depressed and tired all the time than to take a steroid. Well, I don't want to like blow up or do that. You're not.
And these are already fit people, right? That you're talking
some
about?
Of them, yeah. Okay. And it's like, you're telling me you're single and a hot girl takes her clothes off in front of you and you don't get excited, that you're telling me that's not a red flag.
It's a huge red flag. And that doesn't even have to happen because my libido was fine and my testosterone was still 312, I think it was.
Yeah. So it hits everyone different, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like.
That's what I'm saying. So there's like 100 different things. Like it's like a list of them when I ended up going to the clinic I'd gone to. And so there's so many different things that could be going wrong with you that could relate to your testosterone level. Just get your blood work checked and it'll tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, just optimizing hormones can go so far. You know what I mean? Having optimized hormones can help with heart issues. Having optimized hormone can help, calcium buildup. It can help just energy. Life.
And I do recommend try the natural route first. Like, especially if you came and you're just like, you're like, well, I haven't done shit in the last 8 years. It's like, well, no, bro, give it a year. Try to go lift, go eat healthy. Try it that way.
Maybe lower stress. You know what I mean? Because it's like if you're going to take,
let's recheck.
Because I tell people like if you're going to take an injection, this is a lifelong commitment. This isn't like, I'll try it out. If I don't like it, I'll go away. No, this is it.
Well, they say you can wean off of it, right?
You can, but it's like then if it was already low, like it's just going to be low again, right?
Yeah. Or lower.
Or lower, right? So I like to tell people like if you're going to do it, like you need to just be committed to this. Like you're 25. This is something that the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
And unfortunately,
don't take that decision lightly.
It's getting younger and younger.
We're seeing kids.
A majority of different things.
Dude, I helped one of my 19-year-old clients get on TRT because he had a 130 test score at 19. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy, bro.
And we wonder why we have birth rates declining and obesity raising. Mm-hmm. And like, honestly, just a bunch of pussies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like men just not being men.
Yeah.
It's because we don't have any testosterone in our bodies because we're so poisoned and microplastic to death that like we can't make it. You know what I'm saying? And then we're told not to eat cholesterol, which helps with testosterone. Yeah, dude, it's nuts.
And those are the people that are helping this happen, or the people that not everybody, that are certain people are crying about that we're trying to cut out of the government. Yeah. Like literally you have people that are setting either regulations or laws in place that are benefiting these huge corporations that are feeding us this bullshit and are allowing all this plastic and all this shit in our water and all sorts of stuff that are lowering testosterone levels in males. And we're just like, we're upset now that we're trying to go through and change all that shit up and try to make us healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, more men are just not men anymore. And it's like, it's sad. You know what I mean? And it's like, I talked about this on the other podcast, and it's just like toxic masculinity. It's just like, we need real men now. We need people who want to take care of families, who want to take care of business, who want to build things. We don't need men who want to drink and beat people and beat their wives and not be a good father. And it's like cry about everything. Like we need good role models, not shitty role models. And you know, I say pussy lightly, like more joking, but it's like, dude, there's just a bunch of crybabies. Like people would rather cry about things being broken than like take action and fix it. it's just disheartening, right? Like I want my son to be someone who takes care of his shit. Like, you made a mess, clean it up.
Right.
Whether that's physically, emotionally, you caused the problem, take care of it.
Yeah, take ownership.
You know what I mean? Take ownership of it. Your family struggling, get another job. You know what I mean? You're fat, work out. Just take ownership of your life. And it's like, don't rely on other people. Like, you're the man of the house. Take care of your family.
Yeah.
You just don't see it. You know what I mean?
And I hope that, I hope there's a trend people will start implementing all these things in order to make their lives just better, healthier. I think if people like you and the people at your gym and all these other gyms, they just keep doing what they're doing, man. I hope at some point it becomes trendy. It's increasing, right?
Yeah.
Like from when we were younger, I feel like it's getting popular.
Better, and it's getting more popular. And dude, that's what
it just sucks that we're fighting also the processed foods as well. It's
dude,
like
100%.
So it's canceling it out. It's like if we eliminated that, and or at least if people were to see that it's not good for you and would lower their intake of that, then I think that the whole gym culture and workout culture and in itself would flourish even more. But, how are you going to do that when you're being basically almost poisoned? And
dude, it's so hard. And it's like, I think we will. And I think, that's one thing I focus on within my coaching business is that, like, I want you to flourish everywhere.
Right.
I want you to be taking ownership. I want you to work harder. I want you to be financially successful. I want you to be personally successful. I want you to have a successful relationship. So it's like, and I think that goes a long way too. Like, the coaching goes full circle. It's like, it's not just fitness. It's like, how do we help make your life better?
Right.
It's like, I know I'm not perfect, but I have a pretty good relationship. You know what I mean? I've done okay for myself. It'll get a lot better. And, maybe I'm not the perfect husband or perfect dad, but like, I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm sure I have my flaws, but it's like, I've built my life to this. It's like, what wisdom can I impart on other people, or what can I help? Or, like, just don't always be a yes man. Like, tell someone when they're fucking up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
like,
think
that can go a long way.
And I think the biggest thing too is you being aware of that. It's like, I'm not perfect in some areas, but I'm trying to get better.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to go about it. 'Cause we're not going to be perfect, man. Like, there's a lot of things that I could change in my life that would better my life that I'm working towards bettering every day. And I think as long as you stay humble in that way, I think that's the best route to go.
I think you have to, man. And it's like understanding where your flaws are. Like, my flaw is my phone because I'm on it all the time, to the point to where
it's addicting.
2 nights ago, I'm sitting on the couch eating my last meal with my son. We're watching, he loves that ridiculous Rob Dyrdek show.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, I have an idea. Cause he's 7 and he's like, why don't you put down your phone and you can watch this part with me? 'Cause you missed it. And like, it sounds sarcastic, but like, he's just being a kid. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I felt like that before. I've had my daughter go, well, you didn't even look. And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm sitting here and I'm messaging somebody or whatever I'm doing, looking up the next guest that I have coming, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then when they say that, you're like, oh, fuck, dude.
You're right.
Yeah,
I didn't look.
And you really need to focus in on that, because if not, 10 years could go by and you can be like, God damn, I missed a lot of shit because I was sucked into that phone.
Yeah. And that's, honestly, my wife is really amazing about like reminding me of that. And she's like, they're only young once. Like, we only have so much time. Like, Maximus is 7. Like,
right.
We could only have 10 and a half more years till he wants out. And you may only be looking at 5 more years till he like doesn't want to hang out with you anymore because it's not cool.
Yeah.
And that shit hurts. You know what I mean? It's like,
savor those times, man.
Yeah. Have you guys seen The Greatest Showman?
I don't think so. Is that the one with
Hugh Jackman?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No.
Bro. Okay. First of all, you guys have issues because it's one of the greatest movies ever.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've heard.
The music is powerful, but there's a part where he leaves his family to go like make more money, like build a name for himself, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to give the whole thing away, but it's like a montage, right? And the music's playing, the music's powerful. and his wife and his kids are in this beautiful house at a dinner table eating dinner, and his seat's empty. And it's like they're making memories and he's not even there. And my wife, every time we watch something, my wife looks at me, she's like, see, that's what I don't want for you. And I was like, I know. So it's like, even this week, man, like Monday night, I worked late. I went to pick up a piece of equipment. Tuesday night, I had clients. Wednesday night's my late night where I'm there till 7. I'm here, I'm here tonight. Both my kids are already in bed. It's past my bedtime. And then tomorrow night I work, and it's like, I haven't seen my kids like all week hardly. Yeah. And, so we'll try to make up the time this weekend. And it's like, it's hard. So you just have to understand where your flaws are.
Do you think there's a point where you can find that happy median where maybe you're not going to be able to hit that 100 million, but you're going to be able to hit enough to where you make enough to give your kids and you a good life, but you can have your time with them?
I think so 100%. And like, that's the balance right now, is that you're working for that. But it's like, by the time I hit that, my kids are grown. Right.
Yeah. Cause there's a trade-off to that.
Yeah.
But even when they're grown, they're not necessarily not going to need you. They're still going to need you as well. Later on in life, if they have grandkids, they're going to want you around and stuff like that.
Yep.
You still have a family. But like when you're chasing that money, sometimes people just get lost.
Dude, you do get lost.
Yeah. And it's like you want more and more and more, but really, it's like, do what I have now, is that enough? And I need to more focus on the things that I can't take with me, which is, I can't take this money, but I can take, when I die, I hope to at least die with these memories.
I think you eventually can get to that, man. I it's like, it sounds bad, but like one of my goals this year that I have written down for my family is 5 meals a week together at the table.
Oh, okay.
And I know that sounds like crazy to some people, but like it's harder for some people. It's not that we don't want to. It's that like, maybe I'm home late. Maybe they're already in bed. You know what I mean?
Not everybody works a 6 to 2:30.
100%. You know what I mean? But it's like trying to make up that time. Like that night with my son, we told me to put my phone down. I've attempted to be better, but like coming home and just putting my phone on the counter face down, taking off my Apple Watch so I'm not seeing things come in. Because then if I see it, I feel like I have to just get to it. Putting my phone on Do Not Disturb on Sundays has been a big thing for me, but just trying to stay off of it.
Right. Try to unwind.
And giving my family, well, not only unwind, and not, I wouldn't say unwind, but it's just like, I guess just being there. You know what I mean? Playing with my daughter, playing with my son, and different things like that. Cause it's like, she's not wrong. Like it won't be long. They'll be gone.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I don't want to be that piece of shit that just worked all the time and was never home. Even though I'm working so much because like I wanted to give them more. So it's like, you know what I mean? So it is kind of hard, you know. It's ironic that the people you're working for are the people who suffer. Yeah. Because of what you want to get.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's the hard balance, is where do you find that happy median? At some point. And then when you're sucked into that game or that grind, it's like you don't see it. Yeah. So it's just it's got to be difficult. I don't know. I don't own a business, but I've seen people that do, and I've seen how business becomes life, and it's just it's kind of sad sometimes, because you'll see like movies, for instance, of like the Wolf of Wall Street type characters, and it's like, well, they traded a lot to have that, and a lot of the times in the end, if you ask them, was it worth it, and they're like, not really. Yeah, but it feels like it is in in the moment, right? At the moment, yeah. No, I agree, man. It's not worth it. But yeah, you guys need to watch Greatest Showman. You're really, I will.
It's one of the best ones.
Well, between the dog barking the entire time and my fucking stupid cough, I still appreciate you coming on the show.
Man, I'm gonna get home before I get in trouble.
You're good, man. So your gym again?
Body Shop Gym. We are in Lee Summit and Overland Park. Hit us up on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. I'll have everything in the show notes.
Yeah, you can find us at bodyshop-kc.com. Follow me, Blank Slate Fitness _91. I would love to talk to anybody who is into fitness, has questions. Feel free to DM me. I like to help out however I can, hand out knowledge. That's about it, man. I appreciate you having me on. Appreciate you having me come out here, and yeah.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, hiding me away in your basement. Hopefully I can get out. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, he's going to make it out. I promise. You're going to scare the guests. Thanks, man.